Drop.
Is this the fucking mic?
Drop.
This is exactly what I should be doing.
What's up, and welcome to this week's episode of The Drop, your weekly source for all things NFT and crypto art, as well as upcoming drops by notable people in the Mograph industry. I'm Matt Milstead.
And I'm Dave Koss, and joining us today is David Ariev, Clinton Jones, and EJ Hats and Pants. Welcome.
Pants.
Welcome to
Pants?
the show.
Who knows?
Yeah,
No.
so
I got the thought of a
Definitely
better
got the
going
hat, but do you have the pants?
This is like the best day to do this.
I was literally just thinking that. Like this, it's like we're all coming down from this Beeple high. It's like let's ride it. Let's ride this Beeple high.
Man, let's start out with the first obvious, biggest news.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Beeple had a drop at Christie's. It's been going on for the past 2 weeks, and it closed today at 9 a.m. Central Time, and it went for $69 million.
Nice.
It should have gone for 69, 420, 420.
Right, I know. So what's awesome is that basically that puts him in the history book as the third highest living artist to make a sale on their art, which is absolutely incredible. And it's so great that it's a digital artist.
And he's like number 6 right now in the top highest money making artists of all time. Like there's one that has $1 billion, but his net worth is like going to be very close to 100 million really shortly, and then he'll be in the top
right now
5.
it's what, 99 million or
99
something?
million, yeah. Just gotta flip a few more pieces and he'll be up.
I know, right?
So the Christie's auction, that was like, for those of who don't know, like myself, Christie's is known for selling whose art? Is it like Van Gogh? Who is it? Like
artists,
Picasso?
traditional,
Everyone.
yeah.
Traditional
Everyone.
art. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the biggest names ever, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
basically.
Yeah, and not just art. There's other things that they sell as well. So they're like the
Mm-hmm.
go-to. This is just kind of their first. I don't think this is their. Is this their first crypto art sale?
It
No, I
is-
think it's their
okay.
second.
So it is not the first NFT sale, but is the first only NFT sale, right? So
Gotcha.
the previous one was done by I believe a painter or like there was a physical piece.
There's a physical
and
piece,
then
yeah.
there was an NFT minted with it, right?
Mhm.
This one is
Christie's
the
first
NFT
only NFT. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
And where
Which
they
is-
take ETH or Bitcoin, right?
and where they take Ether or Bitcoin. Yeah. So, I mean, that by itself is historic in the sense that it legitimizes this entire thing, and that to me is one of the coolest things about this Christie's auction is that it legitimizes something that people were already skeptical about. They're like, oh, I don't know about these NFTs. What, you can't hang it on the wall? What? Why would I do that?
Okay,
Yeah, we thought Tim Kang's bid of 777K legitimized it, but this
Right.
just takes it to a
Right.
whole different ball game. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, this is a massive day for digital artists everywhere.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, we were on
What a crazy world.
I thought he was going to break Clubhouse this morning with the
Yeah.
like hundreds of people in that call, but we were listening and it just that the last couple minutes when it went like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 million like that, and it was just like,
Oh, so you were in the clubhouse as it was escalating.
Yeah,
I was just
we were
watching.
in the Clubhouse as
Nice.
it was escalating. So you hear
That's
someone
amazing.
say, "Oh, it just hit 50 million." It's like
That's awesome.
so
People
great.
are saying that on Christie's, it's not supposed to get that crazy at the end, like eBay
Really?
or something
Well,
like
this
that.
is like-
Yeah, I don't know if that's true
the whole
for other
football
stuff.
They brought in
or
like the kind of NFT rules from other sites where it's like
Yeah.
if, at the very last minute, just literally the last minute, if they get a new bid, then it goes on for another minute. I
Yeah.
wish they'd have done like 5 minutes or something to draw it out even more, because
Yeah,
I don't know,
Oh,
maybe
gosh, I
maybe
don't
there
know.
was a guy, maybe there was
Like
somebody with like
Courtney
100 mil,
yeah.
just waiting in the wings, like
Yeah.
didn't
You
get
just had to use the
drop it.
bathroom, like the
Yeah.
or the hot pocket.
I'm on
was,
my
like,
gold toilet.
in the
Hold on.
microwave.
He was understandably silent after that, though. It's like
Right.
he was muted, and then he came back on and said something for like a minute, and he's just like in the middle of a sentence, just like stopped
Well, he
talking.
came back later, I think after you guys jumped off, and he was like getting emotional. It was pretty awesome.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's so great.
It was nuts. So we like.
I loved that he posted that picture. I don't know if y'all saw it on his Instagram of him and his wife in front of the Christie's sale auction thing.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I thought that was so cool. Like, you know, him and his wife, they're a team. She put all the boxes together for him,
Yeah.
you know, and they're just working together to like make this stuff happen. And it's so great. It's so great. They looked so happy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So happy for
So-
both of them. And their whole
Yeah.
family, like just the security in that, and his kids can go to college
Mm.
and, you know, not
So do you
worry
think
about
he's
all
gonna
that,
stay like very conservative with his money and just save all of it like he do?
Yes.
Or is he gonna? Chelsea sent him this boat, so someone is selling a cruise ship for $5 million, and that's actually pretty cheap for a whole cruise ship.
That-
It has
I mean,
a roller
that's a
coaster.
drop in the
also have
bucket
to
right now.
staff the entire thing too.
That's true. That's true. We're not talking about that. So
Right.
no, but it's got a roller coaster on it. All right, like let's do.
Oh,
Like,
my
let's
God.
all like
The Beeple
collectively
boat, dude.
encourage him to buy the Beeple boat.
Yeah,
You know?
the Beeple boat with the Beeple coaster.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think the most interesting thing is
so.
how many more drops will he do now?
Mhm.
Because will this be like the crescendo and he's just like, sorry fuckers, I'm done.
Yeah.
Fucking done. I made
Mic drop,
freaking 90. I
motherfuckers.
got $100 million. Fuck.
But here's the thing: is like it's not going to stop him from. Well, I don't know, but like he's not going to just stop making art,
No,
right?
He's not going to
Go-
stop
nope,
making,
the
but will he keep selling?
Right.
Why
Yeah.
Go to
not?
the MoMA and then get kicked out of the MoMA. That's the vision. That's way more important than money right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he definitely at some point, I'm sure, will possibly sell #1, right? At least.
That drawing.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
god.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
Is
How
it-
much is that going to be worth?
I don't know.
How much is 0 Day going to be worth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Like,
true.
one of my
Yeah,
favorites
his
of it.
actual like, oh, that's a good.
Mhm.
Yeah. See, I
Mhm.
mean, and what's gonna stop it? Like, if I were him, or like you, David, you know, like you've done really well in this space too, and it's like you're not. I don't think y'all are gonna do client work anymore.
No,
you know?
I'm with clients. I've been passing them on to everyone else. Like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
congrats, dude.
Really.
Yeah. Congrats. Absolutely. You're living the dream right now.
Right.
You know, and it's like so why not just focus on your own stuff? If it was me, if I had, you know, $2 million, $10 million or whatever, I'd just do a short, you know.
make your animated like cartoon film that you've always
Yeah.
wanted to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, you'd finally have time to focus
This
on
is
that.
going to
So
improve so many people's art because now they can just focus on what they want to do and their own creative vision rather
Yeah.
than always for a client. You know, I've been lucky in that so many of my jobs feel like passion projects, but they're not actually, you know, and now I can actually do full passion projects and just whatever. I mean, it's kind of giving me blank slate syndrome, but we've got some pretty fun ideas cooking.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
June
yeah.
8th is going to be my nifty drop, so I'm super excited
Oh
for that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Damn,
dude.
that's awesome.
Oh, dude.
Dude.
Have some other secret. Well, I've got like a Maker's Place like front page feature on April 20th, so that's exciting too.
420.
Oh, wow.
420.
YOLO.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Man.
That's great.
That's gonna be great. You're gonna have to come back and like do a show, do a podcast, and tell us all about
yeah.
it. Give us all the deets before the drop
Sure.
and such.
Clint's had a lot. And Clint and EJ have had a bunch of success as well.
Mhm.
Ah.
Doing
EJ, you just sold your like neon cat one, right?
Yeah, my Ethereum and my Bitcoin cat.
well, you guys
Uh,
both sold things to Brandon Kang, who's in the chat right now.
Yeah,
real?
Brandon.
Awesome.
Actually,
Yeah.
Brandon bought both of my things, but only ended up with one.
Oh,
that was
right,
a
right,
crazy
right.
story.
Oh, yeah.
Tell that story.
Yeah,
Go
you
for
should.
it.
Wait, what happened?
Yeah, it was nuts. So X-Ray, which is another amazing collector that I've met through this whole process, so I had my Bitcoin cat, put it up there, and I didn't do an auction or anything like that. So it was just like, I guess I'll leave this open, you know, and for 24 hours and do like a, you know, fake countdown and, you know, just announce it on my Twitter. And so X-Ray is like, hey, what would you want to part with this for? And I'm like, I was like, I don't fucking know. Like, I have no clue when I want to
That's the
throw out a
hardest
number.
thing
I'm
is when a
like, number
collector
one, I
asks
don't
you
think
to
my
value
work.
your work.
I don't
Yeah.
think my work is worth shit, to be honest with you. But I was like, well, how about this? Like, I'll let you know what time this is going to end, and like just put in whatever bid that you want to, like your whatever, and we'll see if you end up with it. So did that, he put his high bid in, which was like 1.5 or something like that. And I was like, all right, I'm going to close it down. I'm accepting it right now. He's like, sweet. So in the process of accepting it, so like everything costs gas. Like it costs it costs gas to YouTube stream now, I think, and it's just everything, every step of the process, which is just that. I think that's one of the major barriers, that if that can get taken care of, everything, I think a lot of stuff will get solved here. But anyways, what I did was I hit the accept button, and then what happens is while it's processing in the background, and that could take any amount of time. Like I've seen some transactions take like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
and some will take like 10 minutes.
Right now.
Yeah.
One that's pending on Maker's Place that's been taking 24 hours or more. Some of them just get
wow.
stuck. Yeah.
So all this stuff, and this is the first time that I've had to do this while it was crazy. The last time I minted and sold something was back in November when gas fees were like $5. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So
we complained about the gas fees back then too.
Yeah, no one gave a crap about anything anyone did back then. So I accepted it. I'm telling them like, hey, it looks like it's going to be another 5 minutes. I go back to the page, and it says that Brandon Kang was the winner. I'm like, what the? I was like, and I went back to X-Ray. I'm like, dude, I don't know what the frick happened, man. Like, I accepted your bid. Like, I literally accepted your bid, and it went to someone else. Huh. And he's like, and I'm like, this is the first relationship I'm having with a collector, and I'm like, this is just all going to shit now, because he probably thinks I'm full of shit.
No,
that, like, I just saw another bid and just accepted it. I'm just bullshit. I mean, this is what's going through my head. But he's just like, he was super cool about it, and was like, no, it's cool. You win some, you lose some, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, I got this Ethereum cat coming out, though. You know, I can let you know about that. And like, I'll just give it to you for that same price, blah, blah, blah. So what ended up happening was I was just like, I need vindicated here, because I feel terrible, and I don't want people thinking that it was my fault or something like that. So I go into the super rare Discord, and I'm like, hey, have you guys heard of like accepting a bid on someone and then going to someone else randomly? And they're like, well, can you? He's like, well, it's someone in the Discord was like, you know, it can happen, but it's super rare.
Super rare.
Hey. And they're like, can you post the piece link? And I did, and they're like, yep, that's exactly what happens. Sucks for them, but good for you. You got a higher price. And I'm like,
you're like, no.
Okay. So I like screen captured that, sent it to X-Ray. I'm like, yeah, I guess it does suck for you then. I was like, so he was like, X-Ray was like, what the fuck? And like tweeted him out, like, what the hell's going on? Like, that someone can just swoop in and outbid you. And you know, all of these sites, all these marketplaces have their little quirks and like little gaps in the code and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so that was fun. But then, you know, I made a deal with Brandon and X-Ray, like, talked amongst themselves. Brandon gave the piece back to X-Ray, and I ended up hooking up Brandon with the Ethereum cat, so everyone gets their lucky cat.
Wins.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, Brandon's a super nice dude.
Whoa, dude,
really great. Yeah.
I have
that's awesome.
Audio here. This is something I guess Patty just posted on Render Twitter. If you want to,
yeah,
this is
it's the last 2 minutes of the auction.
The auction.
Oh,
do you wanna hear it?
Play it out.
Just watch the numbers going up.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me. I hope the quality on this is good. I have no idea. I haven't heard it, so I'm just gonna play it, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully. I don't know. It seems very, very low. Extremely low.
Literally 1 minute.
Yeah, it's too low.
It's all right.
I can't.
I can hear it.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
You can hear it?
50 mil.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my god.
Seems really low to me.
50 million. Yo. 50 million.
Wow.
This is
crazy.
Congratulations, Mike. It's at 50 million.
Yeah, I think it's probably low on the
Nope,
stream.
it's good. We can hear it fine.
Yeah, here, just fine.
Million. Congratulations.
Okay, all predictions
It's
have
right
been
now the
exceeded.
fourth most valuable work by a living
How does it feel to be like boss level right now? Wow. Oh my God. That means somebody else is out there.
Yeah, I think it's pretty low on the stream. I'm listening.
Dude, it's fun. I mean, we can hear it.
I can hear it fine.
All right.
Going to 100.
Also, congratulations to Maker's Place, who partnered with Mike on this mental drop.
Dude, congrats, dude. Wait a second. 60. Jesus. 60. 60. Mike, 60. Hey, yo, Mike, can I get a loan?
I love the air horn in the background.
Yeah.
Let's go back and say she's from Russian community. Yeah. Hey, Mike. Congrats with great success. And from Russian artists, too. I was trying to find my credit card at 35.
Love you, Mikey. Love you, man. This is ridiculous.
Hey, Mike.
Man.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Do you think we should try and do some predictions of where we think this is going to go in the world?
I mean, where it's going to be, this guy just cost 50 million. This is.
There it is. 60 million.
Everything. 60 million. This is insane.
Congratulations.
60 million. Mike, this is amazing.
60.
Congrats, Mike.
Hey, yo, Mike, can I get a loan?
Yo, you know what's crazy about this?
Wow. Yeah.
Gosh, that's man, Patty, thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah.
Like that I mean, I feel like just all of that stuff is going to be in the history books,
Yeah,
you know, being able
sure.
to hear the last 2 minutes of that,
Yeah.
of the Clubhouse chat when he sold. That's so cool. That's so cool.
Man, amazing.
I gotta say how awesome this whole thing is, man. Because Patty has been such a help to me, and like Carlos. I don't know if you guys know Carlos, but like, and freaking Don Allen reached out, and like, and Beeple or Mike originally reached out and was like, "Hey, you gotta know about this." And I'm like, "What is this? I just know that you did this randomly." He's like, "Dude, hop on a video call with me." So we hopped on a call for like an hour,
awesome.
and he just like he broke it all down. And then I'm like, "Okay, I gotta get signed up on these sites." And then I don't get signed up on the sites, and I got all this anxiety. And then 2 weeks go by, and then Carlos and Patty randomly reach out to me. They're like, "Dude, like this is a thing. You got to get on this." And then Don Allen reaches out too, and like it's just freaking crazy. And like it's sorry, I'm gonna freaking call, and it's going into my headphones. But anyway, guys, the community is amazing. It's a freaking amazing community, and like everyone's super supportive of each other. And I just love how many people that I've met through this. And like EJ, like I know that I know you from your tutorials, and I've learned so much from you. And like David, I've known you a little bit before, but same from the tutorials. And like, but now I'm sitting here talking with both of you guys who like I idolize so much. I've learned so much from you guys.
Likewise, dude. I've been watching your videos since like 2009.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It's
as you're saying
to see
that,
the community aspect of it is being seen by people who weren't originally like in the industry. Like, I was talking to some people on the Discord chat last night, and who have come from not Cinema 4D, right? They kind of got into this because they were in like 3D Max or Maya, and they're like, I can't believe this community, and you guys all know each other. How does everybody know? It's like, well, I would like to say Maxon is probably one of the number one reasons for that.
Definitely true.
We all jump in, and it's like everybody already knows each other, and like it's just interesting to hear how impressed they are with how like friendly everybody is and inviting and all of that. And so it's welcome to all the new people, I guess,
Yeah. And speaking of Maxon, for those who are working in Cinema 4D or Redshift, Red Giant, or Forger, for your drops, they're excited about the whole space and promoting artists and stuff like that. So if you're doing a drop or something and you've got like a preview of your stuff, feel free to hit up Kevin Rupp, either on Twitter or whatever. And because Maxon would love to help promote the artists that are using their software and stuff. So
shout out to Kevin, man. That guy's awesome.
Big shout out to Kevin.
Hey Kevin, I have one out in Foundation right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And also speaking of Foundation, the big news today is that they finally added the follow button. So
finally,
if you
amazing. They've got a search. got search as well.
Yeah, they've got search. It's not
big features. It's like very futuristic up in here.
Right.
It's like when Apple announces something that like is totally not everything, and everybody's just like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I think the follow stuff is going to be great, you know, because I think I got the email this morning or something where it said, you know, you'll get email notifications on people who you follow who have made drops, which is fantastic for artists. You know, I that not only helps collectors because they'll get to know, but like to be able to easily push out your newest drop to however many people follow you. That's just fantastic, I think.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult thing, you know, like we're very fortunate that we have some following that we can blast out to and be able to you know, tap into that. But for the people that are like just getting started or like it's tough. I get it. Like that's a tough
have
situation.
Ignored Twitter for the past decade.
Right.
Which it's weird that all the action happens on Twitter.
Yeah. Right. Totally.
Is there a story behind that? Why that is, or
no?
Just
Twitter has a much bigger user base, I think, than Instagram.
Well,
it's just more
share like just text on Twitter than it is
versus
on
Instagram.
Is different.
It is weird though because Instagram is like the art platform everyone uses. So
it was. How is that going?
I mean, isn't that the point, right? That's why I'm rooting. Whatever happens out of all this, like if we can have a giant Instagram version of this, where artists that post on that platform can actually make money from it, versus the company making money off the artist's work, that's how it should be.
The company still makes money off the artist selling their work, but just
I mean, at least there's some
while they're still making money. Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess technically they don't make any money while it's just sitting there. It's not until it sells.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How's B20 coin doing today?
Yeah, how is B20 coin?
I bought some.
Someone explain to me what B20 coin is.
It's a Beeple
Aria,
token.
will you?
Oh yeah. I guess that's the thing where they took all of the 20 artworks that Metacoven bought, and then they sharded that and created a cryptocurrency out of his work. Called the B20 token, and you can swap Ethereum or any other cryptocurrency to it using Uniswap. So if you look up Uniswap, I did that last night, and it's weird. It's like Rhett bought it at like 50 cents like a month ago, and now it's up at like $26. So that's a pretty big gain right there.
Yeah.
But I bought it, and it's like it went way down when we were all waiting for those final bids to come in, and now it's come back up, but it hasn't like gone above its top threshold yet. So I'm gonna hang on to it for a little bit.
High.
Yeah,
he's a stock. What the heck, dude?
I know, right?
Beeple is a stock now. Yeah, so I've got some Beeple stock. I mean, it's not going to be as worth as much as like the actual Beeple that I own. So
right.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking awesome that we did that. I wish I'd bought 3.
Right.
I bought all the Beeples.
Hey, we did buy 3 and we sold 1 for $3,500.
Yes, but it paid for the other ones.
Paid for the other ones.
Talk about the big news, please, Matt.
Let's.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about
Matt.
So these past few weeks have been like hard. Like it's been really hard as an artist and whatever, seeing all my friends like Aria, after you made that huge sale, I love you, but I was so depressed.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So depressed.
There's so much FOMO. That's why we did a Clubhouse talk on mental health last week.
I listened.
This week we're doing the environmental aspect, because that's another huge hot button one that we probably won't discuss today, but it's like there's so much going on. This whole space is moving so fast.
The FOMO is hard, especially when you've got your friends who are such amazing artists, and like I said on the drop last week, no one knows me for my art. Like I don't post a lot on Instagram, whatever, and that's why I started, like, in order to get my name out there, I started posting my work for free. Or basically you pay the gas fees and then you can have it. Right. But I was lucky enough, like EJ and Ariev and Dave, we all together were all on Skype or whatever when Beeple did his drop back in December.
Yeah.
And so we all got these pieces. They all 3 got into the ether, and I was looking at them all and I was like, okay, which one do I want to buy?
At the time we were convinced that it was like just we weren't sure if it was going to be worth it. It's like, had it already peaked?
Yeah.
Like, what was this even going to be worth? Like, are we throwing our money down a rat hole?
Here's the thing that sold it for us all is the physical piece. All we wanted was that cool little screen that came from Beeple. It's
that
like,
wasn't it
all right,
for me. For me, it was like he made this money. Like he already proved to success with the $120,000 initial sale with just NFTs. So it's like, okay, this is a real thing. But I had to go and like get Chelsea to convince me to buy this thing. I was like, I'm about to spend $1,000.
I remember that. I remember.
Now I had to convince you, like one of
now
us.
It's like
one
that's
of us.
the smallest, like that's the bare minimum entry point for like any NFT on Nifty Gateway or wherever. It's like $1,000 jokes.
Yeah, at least if we all screwed up on that, it'd be a good story for us to all laugh about later on. You know, like remember when we blew $1,000?
Even better story now, I think.
All right, so,
God
so,
damn,
so Matt, tell us what happened.
So for the past few weeks, you know, I've been having this serious FOMO. I put a few pieces out there, and I was really happy that I got one of my pieces sold. I was really, really happy, and I feel like the collector who bought it was really happy about it as well. They tweeted about it. So, I've been having a hard time because I've been seeing all these Beeple pieces sell, you know, and I got the infected. I was the only one who got infected, and I've noticed that infected didn't sell as well as all the other ones, you know, and so I saw that as a good thing because that means it's more rare, right? True. And so I was seeing stuff sell, and I was having such a hard time. I'm like, should I list this? It's selling. I could sell this. Like there was at one point where the cheapest one was $288,000, and I told my wife, and I told you guys, this is a few weeks ago. I said, I think I want to list this. I could wake up, you know, completely out of debt. And you're like, no, hold it. You know, wait until the Christie's auction, blah, blah, blah. And EJ, you said, yeah, you could be completely out of debt minus your house. But wouldn't you like to be out of debt with your house? And I was like, okay. So I held off. I held it for another week. You know, at one point, I actually upped the price then to 1.6 million, you know, and literally that night, that $288,000 one sold, you know, and that was the last one to sell for a while. And so I was like, you know what? I need to do what's right for my family. You know, I'm going to list this. And so I listed it as the lowest price one at like 198,000. I did the math, and that was exactly how much I needed in order, like after fees and, you know, taxes and paying all that stuff. That's exactly how much I needed to pay off debt. Well, in comes 3 more people with lower bids. And I'm like, shit. Aww. This is the hard thing about this stuff, especially on Nifty Gateway, because if you see what the lowest price is and you post it lower, it's going to be a race to the bottom to see who's willing to give up, you know, the lowest money. Some people even take losses on some of this stuff, you know, which still $100,000 is still amazing. So someone had it listed as low as 120. I was like, oh, I just want to sell this. I just want to, you know, so at one point I had it listed down to 135.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then noticed, I noticed something. It's like someone had gotten something. One of them had gone. So I relisted it for 165. I was like, okay, there's one person who's lower than me, and then me. And then that $122 or $122,000 one went away. Didn't get bought. They just took it back. And I noticed this because I check it religiously. I was like, I'm the lowest one at $165,000. I was like, screw this. I'm jacking it up. So I jacked it up to 195. And yesterday I had someone contact me. They're like, hey, how much do you want for this? I said, 195,000. They said, I'll give you $100,000 for it. I was like, oh my gosh, I literally have someone offering me $100,000 for this. Yep. And I said, no, I think it's worth more. And literally 4 hours later, I sold it for $195,000.
So amazing. Congrats, dude.
Oh my God.
As someone who's not an artist, who's just kind of a collector who enjoys like the art and everything, this is incredible. Like me and my wife, we were dancing last night. We were so happy. I was like, the feeling of being able to just I've been paying student loans for 20 years.
Holy shit.
I would be 60 years old when they were paid off. And now my kids have an opportunity to go to college on me instead of having to. That burden falls on me because I can afford it now instead of them having to take it.
Right.
So, and it was so funny because I set up my notifications on my phone to get the Nifty emails, you know? And so I gave my wife my wife's birthday is next week, and I gave her a very extravagant gift, because Nexus Motion has been doing really well, our Mograph company, and so I gave her a very extravagant gift, and as she's opening it, I get that notification saying it sold, and I broke down crying. I could not be happier, and literally a minute later, Beeple messaged me on Messenger, and he goes, dude. Bro. I was like, dude. He goes, you just made $195,000. I was like, oh my God. And so I'm like, we're messaging back and forth, and I'm telling him how grateful I am for him, and how much of an amazing artist he is, and how much I appreciate this. I'm so happy. And he's like, dude, I think I'm more excited for you than I am about this auction tomorrow. That's so sweet. And so it was great of him. I'm sure he's more excited about his auction now, but now still, it's like the fact that like artists like him, or like you, Ariev, or EJ, or Clint, all of y'all, the artists can make work, and then people can resell it and make more money off of it. I think that's amazing. You're changing people's lives.
Well, artists can turn around and give back to the community by investing in art. At this point I've invested like half of what I've made, which is it's really fun, and it's like it definitely changes lives. It's a fucking crazy time right now.
Yeah.
It really is.
So mine's listed now.
Yeah.
Oh, what's yours? I'm gonna do $1 less.
Yeah. Mine is.
You won't get it. You won't get it because Dave has the best number.
I have a number 8.
Dave is number 8.
Yeah. And that's
pretty sweet,
so
dude.
It's listed at 388, 888.
Don't sell it for less than 888,000.
Yeah. See, I knew as soon as you listed, everyone would be like, "No, hold on."
And
I was so worried. Y'all made me feel really guilty about listing it. It's like, dude, $200,000 is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
It's life changing. And what's funny is, so because I listed it back up, I literally did the math. To the dollar, I can pay off all my debt. To the dollar.
That's so sick.
I mean, it's kind of disgusting that you were that far in debt thanks to college.
Yeah, right?
Fucking college.
It was $75,000 worth of student loan debt between me and my wife.
Yeah. Hey, kids, if you want to learn how to do the 3Ds, come to School of Motion. Take David's class, my class. It's only $1,000.
Yeah.
Not going to put you hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
Right?
No, seriously. Like, why? You just learn. Just learn online. You can do it. It's so much cheaper, and you get like if you're like actually passionate about learning something, you can look up how to learn this stuff. Like everyone here does tutorial stuff. Like just, your passion will continue.
Like we didn't go to college for this.
Yeah. I mean, Matt, how much of your college education are you using right now?
So I went to college for like video production, right? So some of that, carries over because I learned After Effects in college.
Also, when you went to college was early 2000. It's not like Grayscale Gorilla and Video Copilot existed back then.
Didn't watch anything. You had the only After Effects stuff was Video Copilot a little bit afterwards.
Right.
And so, it was you couldn't learn any of this stuff. And I went to the Art Institute, and there were shit teachers there, because all the teachers who taught at the Art Institute didn't have to have degrees, and they were all just former students who couldn't get a job in the industry, So it was a really crappy situation.
The Dallas Art Institute.
It was the Dallas Art Institute,
not the Chicago one.
Oh, Art Institute, man! Yeah. I have friends that went to the Pittsburgh Art Institute. They're doing jack shit today.
Yeah, it's most of my friends who went with me are doing something completely different. As am I. I mean, I'm technically in 3D. 3D motion graphics versus After Effects or editing. I don't do any editing or shooting. But it's like, I got an Associates of Applied Science there, not even a bachelor's. Associates of Applied Science, and then I went back to school. And I went back to school for like 3 more years or something. Didn't finish that. And just ended up more in debt.
Joey was
asking. Dude, I want to tell you guys
ETH, but it wasn't ETH. This is Nifty, so it's straight cash.
Actual cash.
Yeah.
Straight cash. So
I want to tell you guys something real quick about the school stuff. So I was living in Georgia, and I was going to a tech school, Chattahoochee Tech. It's just a 2-year school, whatever. And like at that school, we were doing After Effects, Photoshop, Illustrator, a little cinema. But honestly, I was ahead of all the class because I was just learning it through Video Copilot and like CG Tuts at the time, whatever. Yep. And Like I wanted to move back to California. I was from California, and like I missed all my friends in California. And Freddie, who's like the rock, if you guys know Freddie Wong, he's the rock, does the whole rocket jump thing.
Oh yeah.
He was like, Clint, move out to LA. You can stay with me and we'll just make videos. And I was like, I want to do that so bad. Dad, can I do this? And he was like, nah, you got to get your degree. I don't care what you do after that. You just got to get your degree. And I was like, okay. And I just, kept going to school, and like a month, not even a month, probably like a week or two went by. And I asked my teacher, like the one teacher who let me work on my YouTube stuff in class as a grade. He was, his name was Mr. Mason. He was the coolest. And I asked him, I was like, hey, what would you do if you were in my shoes right now? Like, I have this job opportunity to go out to LA to make shorts and silly videos with Freddie, or I could just finish up school here and get the degree. And he's like, dude, look, you are going to school. Yeah, you're like going to school to get the opportunity to get a job. If you have the job before you finish school, go for the job. You can always come back and finish the school. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. And I was like, Dad, Mr. Mason, he just told me all this stuff. Like, what do you think? And he's like, that makes sense. All right, go for it. And then I like packed up my crap and I just drove across country. And like about 10 years later, it's just the work you put out and the passion for, wanting to learn more is what's going to get you doing more work. And, there you go. So
it's amazing. Also 100% what you put into it as far as like college goes, when I graduated, I won, best portfolio, whatever it is, the Art Institute one, because I put more into it than anyone else was willing to do, and I did the extra steps. I learned and stuff like that, but that's college. That's everyone in college.
Oh,
you can go get a degree, and you could say that you have this degree, but to actually be out there and like to do the work and to work hard and to want to learn more, that's the difference. Yeah. And that's like, yeah, you'll go to college and you'll learn the stuff, but then actually yeah, I don't know. That's why the online stuff is so fantastic, because if you're willing to learn, you can learn.
Yeah, like Full Sail, for example. If you've ever heard of Full Sail, a lot of people are like, Full Sail. But it's like, no, I know a lot of really great people that came out of Full Sail. Yeah. But the reason they're good is because they were self-driven. They had the access to Full Sail and their equipment, but they had the self-motivation to get in there and do it right. It's all about how much you put into it, for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, we all know Pete. We know David Brodeur. He's at Ringling, and like I had the opportunity, which was awesome, to like chat to some of their class, and like you'll have one or two kids that are like really got their shit together and have amazing work, but then all the rest, like you'll go on the Instagram, I'm like, where's your work? Like, and they're just not making anything, and just think, their parents pay their money, they pay their way, and they just kind of like, I'm gonna have fun making spheres collide in C4D today and just kind of fuck around. Yeah. So yeah, it's totally you get out of it what you put in. Just because you go to Ringling or SCAD doesn't mean you're great. Gotta put in the work.
Yeah.
Very true.
Totally.
So Matt, you've got the physical piece in the box. Is it staying in the box?
I do.
Or are you
gonna stay?
I've got mine in the box.
It's gonna stay in the box for at least another week. Is yours in the box as well?
Yeah, it's in the box.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. It's like I've always been a collector. You should see my whole other, like my guest bedroom. The entire closet is filled with just like toys and stuff that I've collected
in the box.
He gave
like all box stuff.
All in the box. Yeah. I don't want to take them out. It's like, and then I'll go on eBay every 6 months. I go on eBay and see what they're worth, and they're like worth like $1. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to take it out of the box.
That's why I have the old girls.
It's only $1, but who knows?
What are you, 40-year-old version now? What's going on?
Yeah, I know, right?
Why do you have the $100 million man's box?
The $1 million. Yeah. No, so I don't know. It's so I've always been a collector, and it's just not in my mindset to take it out of the box.
One of those kids that only collected the Pokemon cards and didn't actually play the game.
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like most of them,
actually, okay, so Pokemon was a little bit after my time. in card
Yeah.
collecting.
that makes
I
sense.
collected all the like the 1992 X-Men and Marvel cards, and I wanted to collect all those. But here's the thing. Actually, speaking of, my kid, because of McDonald's releasing all the Pokemon cards and the Happy Meals and stuff, like it's been a huge thing. He just wants to collect them all. I was like, let's play the game. So we went and bought like some starter packs, and I learned how to play the game. Dude, it's really freaking fun.
Nice.
I love that stuff, man. Yeah, Pokemon, like I mainly collected it, but I would play just a little bit, but mainly collect.
I
The
love
games
playing
were
the game.
sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like the actual like Game Boy games were so good.
yeah.
And then and then I got into like Magic. Are you guys into Magic the
I
Gathering?
am
never
into
got
Magic
into
the
that,
Gathering,
but
yes.
Matt did, yeah.
Paul Babb is.
Ah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Paul Babb's
Yeah.
into Magic the Gathering.
Oh no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
That
played
was-
we played at Camp Mograph last 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
I have
Dude,
a
that
was
green
fun.
deck somewhere. That
Yeah.
I
That's
played.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of this. My dad is like a super nerd. Like I learned a lot from my dad, and he was
You learned how to
either
be a proper
is or
super
was.
nerd.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like number
proper.
17 in the state of Georgia for Magic the Gathering or something crazy.
Wow.
Wow.
Like he's still in. Like we all got into it together, and then I was like, I kind of fell off. Like I still got my like commander decks and stuff, but like he's still in. It's crazy. It's
Holy
so
shit.
funny.
Mm-hmm. That's
Can I-
funny. That's really
Can I
funny.
just say right now, this moment, Beeple's on the front page of NewYorkTimes.com. The
Holy
caption
shit.
is JPEG file sells for $69 million.
Come on.
I love
Let me,
how people
yeah,
have
I'll,
to wake up to
post
this
it
shit.
in the chat here.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I'll bring it up here. But seriously,
JPEG file
JPEG
sells for
file.
$69 million.
Yeah, you got to make it sound as like
Okay,
crunchy as
JPEG
possible.
file
Yeah.
sells
Yeah.
as
That's
sells for 69
clickbaity.
million as NFT mania gathers pace.
Nice.
I
Mania.
like that.
We're all
Mania.
you know, on the
Foaming at the
NFT
mouth.
crack right now. We've drank the
Yeah.
Kool-Aid.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, here it
Yep.
is.
Beeple
JPEG
Mania.
file. Like, why do you have to say it that way? Why don't you
Yeah.
say like
I mean,
ridiculously
not
awesome
wrong.
art or
I
something?
can't even read this stupid thing because it's New York Times and they put
Because you
that.
want
yeah.
people to
Right.
be like JPEG file.
It'll cut
it's
off.
You know-
clickbaity.
You know what I think is really cool about this? And EJ, I think you did one of these as well. And Ariev, you were there for the so when Beeple came on the podcast, you know, he did that one called Bros, you know.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And so like, and then EJ, you did a daily with him at NAB, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as did I.
Which he has yet to post on his Instagram. I think
Oh, really?
my version is the only one he's never posted
Oh, that's
because
funny.
he hates me. Terrible. Well, I
named
told
one
him
of
to
them.
make
I
the
feel good
building
about that.
smaller or something for perspective. He's like, you don't fucking know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then later on,
Get
he's
the
like,
fuck
you know
outta
what'll
here.
help? I'll make these buildings smaller. I'm like, God damn it.
What's cool is like,
I can't
Like-
wait till he sells the FITC titles because I'm part of that mix.
yeah,
so maybe
yeah.
I'll
And
get
see,
some-
that's the thing. It's like that one JPEG, quote unquote. You know,
Yeah.
it's like we helped collaborate on some of those pieces, and so, you know, through transitive property or whatever, we are also famous. Like
Right,
our work
okay.
is seen in this one. You know, it's cool. It's very cool.
Hey, I would like to mention
is
that
cool. Yeah.
this show is technically next week's show. So what we don't have are
Yes.
the big major drops like the Nifties and Maker's Place. I always try not to say Maker's Space because that's 3D printing. But what we do have is a few community drops, and I don't know if you want to just like jump right into that. But
Yeah, we can do that.
I'm not sure. For the reason that this is next week's show is because the podcast is actually we're on
Yeah.
spring break next week.
Yeah, and for those who are new, this is actually a offshoot. It's a section of the Mograph.com podcast. So this is we are every Monday at noon Central Time. We leave the NFT the drop section for the last part of the show.
Yeah.
So
Community drops. I'm not sure who placed this in here, so you'll have to
I
tell
did.
me. Did
Tommy Breen.
Okay.
Tommy Breen. This just goes to show, you know, shill your work, whatever. Tommy hit me up on Twitter, and I really liked his work. I thought it was really good. He just did a drop on Foundation. It's cool looking caustic stuff. Like, you know, he said his computer almost blew up having to render the caustics, which I get. So, but yeah, super cool stuff. Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Nice.
Super pretty.
Guessing that's Redshift.
Caustic Dragon.
Yeah, you think so?
Octane doesn't do the acoustics quite that well.
It's very nice, very pretty. So good stuff. I like it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next up.
Yeah.
Mr. Raid Zero himself, Phil Roberts.
Hell yes.
Yes, this one is very excited. So he dropped the third part of his Beeple Man trilogy. It is Retirement Beeple. I love that he's got Crocs on. I think that's hilarious.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Look, and Phil even posted a close up of him with his Crocs on.
That's great.
He's got Crocs on, and I was very upset. There's a Bud Light, and anyone who knows Mike knows he does not drink Bud Light.
It's Corona.
He drinks.
Oh my
Corona.
God! Yeah, that's the one thing he screwed up.
He drinks.
Yeah, I know.
Corona or
Corona Light.
Mhm.
Corona Light.
Corona Light. Yeah,
It's just one flavor of piss water over the other. Like,
Yeah, I call it piss water for people who like to keep their girlish figure. Mike wants to do that.
That's amazing.
Well, Phil actually did a promo.
Sour beer.
Yeah.
Not everything can be sour beers, EJ.
That's true. They are good.
He can afford it now. Good God.
Right?
Yeah.
He's gonna get full Corona now.
It's like,
not Corona Light.
I guess you can't buy taste. So Phil made a he's still laughing.
That was funny. Oh man.
So Phil did a promo for his drop, and we'll talk about it after. I'm gonna play it first, and then we can discuss. Cool. Okay, so everybody get ready for this. If you haven't seen it, this is freaking fantastic.
Now you can imagine all the power in the Beepleverse. The Beepleman Collection. 23 pieces, all sold separately. There's heroic action figures from the Revenge of the Everdays, Beepleman Christie's edition, Retired Mike, and battle machines like his trusty Toyota Corolla, batteries not included. What will you do with all the power in the Beepleverse? Beeplemen and other items from the Beepleverse collection, each sold separately. Parents put it together. From Raid Zero.
Yeah.
So good. It's such a good commercial.
It's so good.
Wait, was that like? Did he get an actor to be that old guy with the car?
No,
Like,
it's
it's
actually
3D.
from an old. It's
Is it
from
not?
an old.
He-Man.
No, it's from an old He-Man commercial.
Oh, that's
Right?
awesome.
Yeah.
But
So
did he
the-
replace the car?
No, the car. I mean, that's 3D animation that he did with the car.
I think is
you
that
know?
Yeah,
that's
hold
what
on,
I'm
hold on.
saying.
The
He's in
product
chat. I
shots
think that's
though.
a 3D car. Yeah, he did the product
Yeah,
shots.
it's a 3D car.
The
Yeah.
But
first shot and the last
how's there a
shot
hand
were-
on there?
That's
I
him.
think it's a
That's him.
3D. Isn't that a 3D hand? I thought it was a 3D
That's
hand.
what I was
I don't
guessing.
Phil, is it a 3D hand?
Yeah, I
He's in
think
the
so.
chat room.
He'll answer us in the chat.
Really?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
looked
I don't-
like it was
kinda just
actual
looks like
like
an
footage
image.
shot and ran through a VHS filter or something.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that was probably the Red
sure
Giant
it's
Universe.
Good old red
Oh,
giant
VHS.
VHS.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only reason I just. You know,
So for those
Red
of
giant
you,
universe, aka VHS filter.
right.
yeah, you just I mean,
Anyone who know who the voiceover was? The voiceover?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Mr. Dave Koss
That was
himself.
Dave.
That was me.
Yeah.
And
What-
the
Oh wait,
audio.
what?
So he sent me a couple commercials that were like that. He's like, I need an American voice, and if you want to throw some music in there, that'd be rad. And so I went through and I listened to these, and I'm so into these old 80s things. Like I'm like, I've got to do something fun with this. So I completely scored an entire music track for that, and then made it sound crappy, so it sounded like it
That
was
was you?
VHS. Yeah, so like it's an original score, and then I put my voice in. I had so much fun doing it because it's so different. It's so different, like, than just, sitting in Cinema 4D. Like, it was out of my wheelhouse, and it was like doing a daily,
Yeah.
So, and man, that was so good. And I've been talking to Phil ever since. Like, he's got my creative juices flowing now, and like the music thing. It's like,
I didn't know you made music. That's cool, man.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
What?
No. I've made a few things. I did the intro to the drop and stuff, but I've just been a dabbler in Ableton. I haven't really, but it was just fun. I was like, yeah, let me get some French horns in here. I used to be a French horn player back in the day. So
Ooh, I heard that's the hardest one to play.
yeah, it's pretty hard to play. I don't know if I could do it now.
That's only got 3 buttons. Come on.
Yeah, right. Well, technically 4 if you got the trigger.
Right,
Yeah,
of course.
and then the
Of course,
combinations. And, yeah. So
Wait, so you made the beat at the beginning of this show? You made that beat?
mhm,
Yeah.
the drop.
Yeah.
That's a nice beat,
And
dude.
all the
Oh,
voices.
I thought you bought some stock music for the
No,
drop.
I made that.
Oh, you made it?
Oh,
dude, that's awesome.
And the of course the voiceovers at the beginning, that's all Beeple.
It's all Beeple.
It's all clips that we had in the library from Mograph, from podcasts and things. So, dude, like, I'll put, of course, links in the description and everything, so you can check out, Phil's drop. And did he answer about the hand? I want to know about the hand.
Yeah, it's a 3D hand.
Okay.
Yeah,
what?
3D hand. Yeah,
dude, it's
a 3D
so
hand.
good.
I know. He did a really good job. Like, I don't know. Phil's really good at this stuff.
I feel like
are the figurines fake too?
The figurines, yeah, they're all fake.
Yeah, those are all fake. Yeah.
Wow, the filter on top, like,
it makes
totally...
it feel so real.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to make things look old. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Love that nostalgia.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I on the audio, I just did the same thing he did, but audio-wise, I just found online some clip of VHS hum and just threw it in there to make it sound bad. So, all right. So who do we have next on the list? Glenn Hernandez, who I think is in the chat right now.
I think so.
Glenn Hernandez has one up, and so we were actually going back a little bit, back and forth, and about what to post where. And I feel like I'm not the best person to give advice on this stuff, but I did give a little bit of advice based on what I learned, because they sent me a couple different things, right? Now, this one in particular on Rarible, this is one of the ones, that they sent me and were asking, what should I put where? So there's this one, and then there's another one that's not released yet. That's more of like a 3D, like Cinema 4D thing. And I said, what you should do is you should take this first one here, and you should just put this on Rarible as an experiment for yourself to go through the process. If you've never done it before, I really feel like Rarible is a good place to put something up, mint it, see what the process is like, and then you'll get your invites, and then hold on to some of that other content. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
I posted my first drops on Rarible. The hardest thing for all this stuff is knowing, because everyone does gas prices differently. Like Rarible, it costs you gas to mint it. It costs you gas to list it, and then if someone buys it, they have to pay the gas price to get it from you, right? Or but then if they bid on it and you accept that bid, you have to pay the gas price to give them your work for that price, So that's that. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of fees everywhere. Like
Maker's like real estate.
Yeah, Maker's Place. There's I just did an edition of 8, actually 2 sets of 8 mirror boxes, and there's a fee to mint it, and then there's also a fee to list the price as well. Right. So it's like $80 per edition times 16 total, or depending on.
You have to do it per
every
thing?
time per edition, and you have to manually be on it so that when somebody buys one, you then mint the next one. So so it's kind of a cluster. And then there's like a $40 fee just to list the price, because I wanted each one to be set for 1.5 ETH. Yeah. So each time I had to pay all those fees. So
that's it, and that brings up a big thing that I was talking about last week. Well, where it's like, for some of the lesser known people who are more like starving artists, struggling artists, who that can kind of price people out from this. It makes it difficult.
And the thing is, all you need really is one person who's into it to put a bid, and on Foundation, and then it hits the front page. It is kind of hard to find. There's so many that just never get a bid because there's no way to find them.
Yeah.
I think that'll kind of work its way.
Yeah.
It's so
even with Rarible, their search is crap. It's like, I can't search for a user. Even Makerspace, Maker's Place, I search for a user and it's like, I don't get anything.
Yeah, their search feature is broken.
Yeah.
But they're working on it. They're well aware of it. That's like the first thing I said to them when they contacted me.
Yeah.
Because they actually hit me up. The way I got into Maker's Place was they hit me up as a collector, because I had started collecting.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and they were like, how can we improve your experience? And I was like, well, first off, your search is broken AF. When when I type in Mark Fancher into your search engine, nothing comes up. I have to literally go to Google and type in Mark Fancher Maker's Place in order for it to come up.
Right.
And then I was just like, and also, you know, I'm a 3D artist. I'm well positioned to be a collector right now because I know all the great artists out there already that are probably going to blow up. So I'm collecting, and also I'm a 3D artist as well. Here's my site, and they immediately upgraded me to creator status. So that was cool. But I don't know that that's not like a pro tip. I don't know that would work.
So what you're saying is buy a whole bunch of art.
Yeah.
Just you know, Octane Jesus.
Just buy. Well, I was like going really far into debt by like being addicted to buying Nifties.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like already like in my mind, I had already sold a bunch, but it was a total risk, like kind of maybe an idiot move, but that's what got me in the door fast. So like definitely a high risk there, but paid off. So.
See, you were also very lucky in the fact that you were also a very, very talented artist.
Oh, thanks.
You know, who was able to sell his work.
Yeah, that's probably part of it.
And the community like totally showed up to me. Everybody retweeted my initial stuff, you know, so it really definitely helps. Like I thought, you know, oh, well, I'm not visible to collectors. I don't have a massive following. I've got 17K people on Instagram. That's really not that big in the grand scheme of things. Like I'm seeing people with 200,000 followers not necessarily doing that well. So it's no guarantee. So I just, you know, I was really nervous going in. It's like reinventing your whole career. It's like new career, who dis? You know?
Right? Yeah, and you know, it's so funny. Like if you look back at our text, you know, me, EJ, Dave, the two Daves, we have a text chat that we've had for years, right? And it's like, it's so funny looking back before you sold your first piece or whatever. You're like, I don't know, no one's gonna buy my crap. You know, you're super humble by it, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, cool. Okay, I'm in this. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, what can I mint
But
back?
every time I do a drop, there's that anxiety. Like this whole thing is just a roller coaster of anxiety. Like, like right now I'm experiencing it. Like someone placed $1,000 bid on my. I just dropped my space piece.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. This is the
piece that really like kicked my career off. That I spent 4 months on. You know, probably at least 700 hours. You know, back from 2016, 2017. I mean, I don't know
that time, dude. We were sitting there like you were sending us clips, and we were just like watching your journey on completing. Like that seemed like that was a struggle back then. It was like earlier times in the rendering space.
I rendered it on like 980 Ti's or like a 970, or let me think, I had like a 780 Ti, a 980, and like maybe one or two 980 Ti's, and then I had a laptop with a 980M that I was like rendering shots on for like, oh, just let it like cook, like one shot cook for like a week or something on the freaking laptop. Yeah. Those were the days.
Yeah,
it's absolutely like
look
this
at this
is
amazing video quality on Twitter. Gosh, the compression is garbage.
I know, it's awful.
Wait, is what is Twitter? Is that like just the thing? Because I notice every video I post
Twitter
on Twitter
just compresses
like
the shit out of everything. Yeah. It's awful. Yeah, but whatever.
So where is this listed?
There's
it's on Maker's Place.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is beautiful. Very filmic, man.
It is.
Thank you.
Is absolutely gorgeous. And
I'm surprised that it still holds up.
For those
it's been
who
like
are
4 or 5 years.
Seeing how it was done, there's a whole talk that you did on our Mograph talks.
True, and I have a SIGGRAPH talk on it as well, where I talked about the cinematography behind it. That was my first talk on digital cinematography, and that's actually what EJ saw it, and he was like, "Dude, we need to do a whole School of Motion course on this." So that's really what led to the School of Motion course eventually. So yeah,
the biggest thing though, like this is a music video. You know,
it's a music video. I think it's I wrote on Twitter, is this the first NFT music video?
Yeah,
I got permission. I got permission from the artist and from the director. And
it was a drop earlier this week on Nifty from some artists, but I don't know if they gave away, if they did the whole music video. You know,
right. Yeah, and that's why I like Maker's Place as well, because it has a 200 megabyte limit, so you can actually have it up there without it being incredibly compressed. Still looks good up there.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
That looks incredible.
Thanks.
Yeah.
A couple other community drops real quick. I just wanted to throw in Luis Miranda has actually come out with End of the World drop.
Oh yeah, this is another amazing one. So he did this. Yeah. This was a short film title sequence he made for Lights Camera Render. But
I love that there's so many people.
There's so many people, releasing NFTs. Like Alex Marks just sold his first render from week 0 for $5K.
So good.
Yeah.
Man.
So like if you
Making
take
that
lights
money
camera
back from the
render, you
course,
can
like,
make the money
roll
back
right away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
just make it back.
Yeah.
Like yeah. You'll like this course, you'll have your money back.
You'll have your
Right.
money back. Money back guarantee.
Yeah.
just
Just
make your
kidding.
NFT.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
like making
You want to
ad.
learn how to be an NFT
Guaranteed,
artist?
not
Take
guaranteed.
This course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Guaranteed,
then,
not guaranteed.
The last one I have here, well, second to last one I have here is Ross has a few more out. Now he's got some stuff up on Known Origin, so he's got a few here.
Yep.
Just wanted to plug that.
Yeah, Ross is awesome.
I love those
Such a
colors.
Badass.
Yeah. Yeah. the
And
colors are
he's someone that actually went to Full Sail and
Oh, yeah.
succeeded because he's put in so much extra effort.
Yeah.
And he was a TA for my first session of Lights Camera Render, and he totally rocked it. Like he was one of the most active TAs in there, just like in the Facebook group, giving constant feedback. Like his critique videos were amazing and super well thought out. Yeah, love that dude.
Yeah.
And I'd also
Yeah.
like to just, self-promote and say that mine is still up right now in Foundation.
Nice.
If you'd like to.
It's so pretty.
get a little-
It is really pretty.
Yeah.
Breaking my heart, bro.
I feel good about this one. Like I
pretty
really,
smoke.
really feel good about this one. I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
really happy with my own art for once.
Yeah.
And,
Is that Embergen?
That is
TFT.
TFT.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
It
working
looks
natively
nice.
in C4D. What can I say?
I need to try Embergen. I'm so excited to try all the software that I've been neglecting for years. Like after June, it always feels like it's the next thing. Like I have to wait till June because that's my big nifty drop. But like after June, I'm going to be free to just fuck around, do whatever I want. Learn all the software, Substance Painter, Substance Designer, more.
Yes.
Embergen, like.
That
Yeah, the
420
list
drop.
goes on. Marvelous Designer.
There was a great comment in the chat like 30 minutes ago that I wanted to mention. It's so far back I can't find the person's name. I'm sorry, but they said you do the 420 drop, Octane Jesus, 420 praise it. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I am gonna have a 420 drop because that's my Maker's Place front page feature. It just happened to work out that way. It's pretty freaking funny.
Sorry, Dave. I'm trying to post this thing from the
you
that
got it.
EJ dropped his stuff on his little Burger Boy.
Put it
I
in
don't
the
know if
thing.
you've
Let
got
me put in the dingus. Let me bring
that.
that up.
I can't because
We also
my-
got
my
David
thing-
Brodeur in the chat, who's gonna
Yeah,
be,
so
when is he
he's
dropping?
dropping
his
very soon.
drop is
Really?
the 15th.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
Brilly.
Oh,
David, on my
really?
birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
brilly. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I
Oh, really?
I'm trying to see if my cutesy shit with giant eyes has any pull. But actually it's pretty cool because Jerry Louie and what?
Go ahead. I was
He was the first one that he bid on one of my first pieces. He's also the person that floated me Ethereum to even mint my first piece back in like October. And I was like, dude, and he bid on my thing. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you already helped me out, man. So he bid on it, and then Don Allen outbid him. But what I want to do is like I this is a series I call Nami Noms. And it's just like all these little food characters, and
Somebody give
I
me a
eventually
link
want to
here.
like.
Where is this? Is it on your Twitter?
It's in the
Super
chat
rare.
on Skype.
Oh, it's on Skype. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can you open the Skype chat without it messing everything
It's
up?
somewhere around here. I got too many windows open, but I'll find it.
JPEG file sells.
If it was NPG, it
I
would
wanna
have
read
sold
that.
for $1 billion.
30 times a second means
PNG. Did I just say NPG?
NPG.
Good lord.
Okay, here it is. Here it is. This is on super rare.
Do you have audio? See if you can do audio with it. Too,
Oh, do audio, yeah.
You
Oh
gotta do
yeah. I
audio.
can do audio if I unmute it here. Let me bring it up. Here we go. I'll unmute it.
All right.
Nice.
Such good audio.
Well, that's I recorded my dog's squeaky toy for that. So
Nice.
Oh,
if I
that's
sell, I gotta give. I gotta
That's
give
so
it
awesome.
to
You got
us.
like an
Audio
authentic
by EJ.
EJ the Foley
Audio by
artist.
EJ, There you go.
Dang, dude, you can be scoring other people's nifties in no time, right?
That's funny.
Yeah, you need squeaky sounds. I'm your man.
Nice.
Yep.
Dude, I learned so much from all those like character tutorials that you put out, EJ. Like they're so good, and they're all these like really sneaky tricks on how to get that look without taxing your computer. It's perfect.
Yeah. So when I do have a couple more down the line, that one's a pizza, and I want to show behind the scenes. They're all animated except for the legs. They're all animated with deformers.
Cool.
And rigged with deformers. So just want to do a little behind the scenes there, because so many people are like, I don't know how to freaking rig, and it's like, dude, just do whatever you can and just make it move.
Dorpy's a big fan of yours too. Dorpy.
Yeah. Dorpy?
Yeah.
Dorpy the Dope
fan of Gus too.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think they sniffed the same. They sniffed the same.
Oh my god,
I left a drop for you in the backyard this morning. I sharded it, if you know what I mean.
I sharded it.
Yeah. The last minty
What's
I
the gas
experienced
fee
is
on
when
that?
I ate some dental floss out of the trash can.
Still waiting on that foundation invite.
Yeah. Come on, bring it on. All right, I'm going to go. EJ, tell Gus to follow me on Twitter. Anyway.
Oh god.
Wow.
That needs to be its own segment.
Did you guys see Martin's render, which was like the spaceman begging?
Are you still playing stuff? I hear something. I hear some music.
I don't hear music.
I don't hear any music.
Is
something
it
on your
squeaking?
computer is probably playing.
It is. It was playing REM's music video.
Oh, that's funny.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Space. I was just saying, have you seen Martin's render that was like the astronaut like in a tent, like as a homeless guy holding a sign that says like need ETH, but it's like got the M for like meth, but the M is like crossed out.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That's great.
That's really funny.
Love it.
Yeah.
I actually bought that one. I own that one on Foundation for 2 ETH.
I was speaking of the crappy search from Maker's Place or whatever. So I had a total noob moment because I haven't been on Maker's Place very much, and so I just saw the front page and I saw the Alex Marks one with the Michael Jackson. Yep. That who was it that bought that one? 888 or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't realize that it had already been purchased, and so I was like, oh, look at the bids. The bids are so low. I'm gonna bid this. So I bid like $2,700. I was like, wait a second, he already owns this. Oh, I'm an idiot. And so like immediately got rid of it. And I was like, oh, that's so stupid. I feel like such an idiot.
People do where they bid after the fact, just to because you can flip the piece. So, but people will bid very low amounts. So that's happened on a bunch of mine where 888 bought those, and then people bid like really low amounts afterwards. I don't know if they just want to get in on the action or if they're being trolls or what. It's just it's funny.
It's so
my
weird
favorite
on
is the dead mouse.
Say something. Go ahead.
My favorite is the dead mouse tweet that got sold for 17K.
Yeah.
So his like super like asshole tweet. You know, about like how he did this very low effort nifty gateway drop. Like his steps for profit, like 1, do a lazy drop, 2, hype it up to all of the and schmooze it on, Clubhouse, 3, something, and then 4 is like question mark, and then he's like profit. So that then got sold.
Clubhouse and mentioned community.
Yeah, community. Right. And so then that got sold for like 17 grand on Super Rare, just the tweet. And then my favorite though is that No Radio then after it was sold went on there, and he's the guy that bought Cornelius Domrich's 6088 piece for 60.88 ETH. So he went on there and bid 0.000001 ETH to just be like, it's just like a fuck you, dead.
Right. I mean, the cynicism is on brand. I just
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Totally. I got a couple emails here I wanted to get to, and we have some topics now that we're already an hour and something into this. Number one, from Pedro Ramos, who says, "Hi, Matt and Dave, love the NFT section of the show, and I thought I'd ask a question related to NFT. Maybe you can help. Do you know if it's legal to make money off of NFTs where the artist uses copyright material or concepts? For example, if one makes a piece with a 3D model of a Star Wars character or a famous cartoon, wouldn't this tribute be an illegal space? On that note, perhaps it would be great to have a lawyer on the show that could talk about this." Best Pedro. Now, this topic is
we're gonna let EJ handle this
a lot. This topic has come up a lot, but it's really the fact that
it really has.
Even Winkleman this morning was talking about it because it's usually, unless you're just like straight up rendering a Mickey Mouse character or a Buzz Lightyear character, it usually falls under parody.
Right.
And,
which is very
Right,
fair
which
use,
is
yeah.
considered fair use and always has. So honestly, it doesn't really seem like people are like, oh, we need to change the laws and all that. I mean, there are already laws in place for this.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is that once it's minted, it's there forever. So
yeah,
you can't. It's not like you can retract it. So
I don't know. I did see some stuff. It was I don't remember the actual site, but someone was like, hey, this person is using my artwork that they minted, you know, from a job that I did or a movie that I worked on, and you're just leaving it up there. And the place ended up like taking all the things down. But, you know, it comes up with that brings up the fact that everything's minted on the blockchain, you know, and is it permanent when it's on there? You know,
unless it's burned, but
right. Like, but can a site burn a piece of art if they don't think, you know, if it's against copyright?
I think that the sites are going to have some issues with this. Honestly,
yeah.
I think it's the sites.
Yeah, I think so too.
And they're going to have to make sure that they find a way to protect themselves, because ultimately, if you're minting on their platform, that's the biggest thing. You know?
Yeah.
Is it Christie's? There's like 5,000 copyright infringements like on that piece. So if they're coming after anyone, they're coming after Christie's first, right?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you have artists like
Cause.
That is
100% parody.
Yeah. Cause does Mickey Mouse things with the X in the eyes, and the Simpsons thing, and he even did like Simpsons and like the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Band cover. So he's like, those are massive IP, and like he won against all of them. So
yeah,
like
also,
sure,
take a
Mike's
look at
gonna
Boss Logic's drop. Like that's more in the fan art category. That's not parody, but I think that's still under fair use. And I mean, I guess if anybody comes after anyone, it would be him first or Beeple. Yeah.
So I wonder about like Sakani's short film, which he released some stills from. He actually removed like the Stormtrooper helmet. So I wonder if it's like
he's worried about it. I talked to him directly. He's worried about like minting that whole short. I think he should, but that's also a risk.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't want to come under fire. But then if you follow it, the Beeple logic is like, fuck yeah, let them sue me. That'll just make my art even more valuable.
Now,
I feel like someone like
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say, I feel like some company is going to come forward and do something like this, try to take down someone's thing just to like draw a line somewhere. You know, like that will probably happen in the future. Because this is like the Wild West kind of at this point, and it feels like the rules are kind of being made up as we go, and things is so new.
Matter.
Yeah, but doesn't
line is it anyway?
Star Wars at one point, maybe this is before it was sold to Disney, but the franchise itself, they come out and say people are allowed to do fan stuff at some point, say like you can use this music and you can use like I might be remembering this wrong. I don't know, but
yeah,
I remember something about that at one point, so maybe that's a little bit different. But again, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, after Disney bought him, maybe that all changed. But
yeah,
I got another.
Yeah, Billy changed out his car models for non-copywritten ones, which his drop is now officially live since he backpedaled a little bit, you know, so that he could change out the car models.
Gotcha.
But I believe it's officially up on Foundation right now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Got another one from Gustav here, who says, as I'm waiting on a more reputable platform, I've decided to mint my first piece on Rarible. This is what we were talking about earlier. I'm going to be doing an open edition of 7. I plan on keeping the price fairly low just to try and get the ball rolling. I don't have a drop date yet. I'm participating in the tweet storms. At any rate, it couldn't hurt to put out the word in advance. And then he also gave a process like time lapse of the piece as well. So
awesome.
I'll definitely put that in the show notes so you can check that out. I'll try and bring that up here so we can see what it is. I think I know which one this is because is this
it the one with the computer screens and the skulls or something?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's this one right here. So we'll put that in the show notes so you can check that out.
I love that. That's
awesome.
So
dude.
Good.
Yeah. His name is
I feel like
good.
I wish he would wait until he gets into Foundation or Maker's Place, but hopefully it sells. Yeah. Because that is such a good piece.
It is.
Yeah.
So one thing, like I know everyone's kind of like it's tricky blasting out, your stuff and marketing yourself, it's kind of a weird vibe, and you don't want.
It is.
You know, there's like anxiety behind. Oh, people just don't want to hear about my crap about this 24/7, and you got to mix it up a little bit. But one thing that Carlos, his name's Carlos Marcial, I think I'm saying it right. Now, Carlos is like, he helped me so much get my first piece off the ground. And he told me, like, I'm like, dude, what do I do? Like, how do I do this? And he's like, man, just tell people about your art. Tell them, like, why it's important to you, how you made it, the things you're excited and passionate about, as opposed to just buy my art, buy my art. Like, you're filling people in on the BTS. So, like, that one you just talked about, Dave, how he has that BTS. Like, I think it'd be cool for people getting started on this thing and trying to mint their first pieces. Tell us about the process. Tell us what went into this. What did you use? What was your inspiration? Like that's fun info that pushes your piece, but it also gives us more than just buy my stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a story behind it. People know that you really put something into it. It's not just something that you just said, oh, I'm just going to throw this together. It's just a daily. I don't really care about it. When there's emotion or a meaning behind it or purpose or symbolism, and even if you have, you know, quote unquote gimmick, if you're selling a piece, that a physical piece that goes with it, if you're doing like Phil did, where you put the you do the little promotional video, and that's super fun. You know, when there's some sort of fun, gimmicky, just novelty to it, it tends to do better as well than just like blasting constantly.
It also depends on the place where you're posting it. You know, some different sites are more prone to more gimmicky stuff. Other sites are more prone to, you know, space stuff. You know, I don't know.
I mean, that's the way I think of it, is like, you have to ask yourself, are you in this for the long run, or are you trying to just make a quick buck and rendering out some crap and posting it? Like, I know for myself personally, like, I know that, like, I don't really have much of a backlog. I have, like, my first piece I posted, that's like the best 3D work I've done. And
and it's like, beautiful, by the way. Like,
it is beautiful.
It's an incredible piece of art, man. And I love how I love how you looped it. Like, that's so tricky. Like, with the kind of white that, you know,
the Z depth
goes the Z depth white, you know, just kind of tricks your eye into thinking that it's, you know, this seamless loop, and it works so well.
I was stuck on that for so long, and Ren was helping me out. Ren was like behind me, and he's like, I'm like, Ren, what is it? And he's like peek over my shoulder. He's like, you got to work on this. I'm like, I know, I got to work on this. But the point is, like, we once we get through our backlogs, we got to start making new stuff. Like, and as artists, we don't want to just be making spheres and be like, this is my style now. It's like, you got to stay true to your style, you know, like, and every one of us here got our style. And like,
some of us have like multiple styles. Like, I wouldn't say I have one specifically defined style. Like, I like to dabble in lots of different kind of art forms. I do like abstract
but I know
stuff.
your style. I know your style.
I don't know my,
like,
well, I mean, I would, if there's a style to my work, it's like that I like cinematic camera movement and lighting, but that's not necessarily a style in and of itself. Like, I apply that to all sorts of different styles of work. Like, if you look at Down on the Render Farm, that looks really different from the cyberpunk stuff or from the abstract weirdness that I create, you know, or the mirror boxes. Like, there's a lot of different things that I like to tinker around in, you know.
And you have a level of detail, though, like that is pretty high in all of your work. It's like pretty maxed out. So yeah, just keep making stuff that, you know, we all love making. And like, you're in it for the long run. It's not the quick cash grab, you know? So
yeah, the way I see this, I think this is the new Instagram, you know?
I hope so.
Because I hope so too, because it's a chance for artists to be able to, why would I post something on Instagram, you know, I don't know.
Well, why would you post something on Instagram for the likes when you could
for the likes?
You still want to post and people to see your art.
Yeah. So I mean, you're getting your work out there, and if someone appreciates it enough to want to buy it, all the more power to you. You know, like,
in a perfect world,
isn't that really what it's all about? Where you wanted to post your stuff on Instagram or on Twitter or something like that, get 1 million likes, and then get the job of your dreams. You know, the big client that you want that's going to help you. Well, why not just skip all that and just skip the middleman and go straight to the person who just appreciates your work.
Yeah, let's bust your ass posting for likes and then get underpaid from a client, because you're desperate, and that's the most interesting part about all of this. And I've already seen it just because of Beeple's how much he sold for, is just like, artists, know your worth. Like, if this is any time to justify how to raise your rates, this is it, because we're starting to see this whole other market of people. Look at what we do. Mike does what we do, like at a base level.
He does it in a couple of hours.
He does it a couple hours, but I mean, like, we're seeing every single drop we do. I see artists every single day that get into this. They start to realize, like, a switch turns on the moment you sell your first piece for even if it's like $800 or $1,000, it's like, wow, someone, because we're used to just getting freaking likes.
Right, exactly.
And now you're getting like cash money.
Even if we're just making the same amount of money, but doing our art the whole time, that's a massive, massive improvement.
Yeah.
And then for those of us that, don't have like an art style yet, or don't do this kind of Instagram stuff, like, there's going to be a whole lot more clients to go around. Like, so many of us are getting sucked down this NFT rabbit hole. And that leaves
it's like
this
the best
vacuum.
of the best are going away, and so
so that's really exciting times
has the
for
bar
everyone.
Been lowered now for like client work?
Well, I think that lots of people can raise their rates, their rates a lot, and then I'm passing client work on to tons of my friends that aren't getting into NFTs. So I think it's just beneficial to all artists in some way or other,
Yeah.
There was a guy on your Discord, David, and like we were just chatting with a group of maybe 20 people, and he was saying, like, I'm sorry I forgot his name, but like,
that's okay.
He blew my mind. He was saying how like the prices that we're seeing all this crypto art go for, that's the true like worth. That's you're now getting paid what your art is worth.
Yeah.
And like that's blowing people's minds. They're like, oh my God, so it's syncing up, it's syncing up, which is so freaking cool.
But it's
Absolutely.
Just
it's amazing.
But it's
right.
I mean, you literally send a client an MP4 sometimes.
I mean, okay, the whole world is discovering this. EJ, you and I, when this first dropped, like when Beeple did his first thing, we were like, come on, this NFT thing is so stupid. All these people doing crypto art, #crypto art. Like, you're buying a freaking JPEG. Like, come on. Like, we all started with that mindset. And then we saw the potential of it. We saw, just all the crazy benefits. Like, artists supporting artists by turning around, buying each other's work, like the potential for collabs. Like, I'm getting in touch with so many, like Casey Edwards, Clint, you hooked me up with him. He's an amazing composer. He's in the chat right now.
The best I know.
He reworked my Star Wars Harry Potter music, like the actual Star Wars music, and it sounds like Star Wars mixed with Harry Potter, and it's freaking brilliant.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so like, there's just so many more opportunities to collab with artists. There's like all this camaraderie going around that's like, it's just really awesome to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question from Andy Needham, and I have to kind of scroll back because, like, man, the chat is lit.
Chat's been fire today. Thank you.
Lit fire.
Yeah.
His question is, can I hear your
mint
thoughts?
That chat. Mint the chat.
Mint the
this
chat.
Episode. Can I hear your thoughts on doing an open edition with a lower reserve price, or a one of one with a higher price? And I'm going to.
I think it's good to experiment with both.
That's yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, it's good. Like, for the bigger pieces, I've been doing one of ones, and at first I thought maybe I was gonna split up my short films into smaller pieces, but a collector, Loopify, kind of convinced me not to do that, because it's more special for collectors to pick up these big pieces, and for big sums of money. But then you've also got this market in the middle that doesn't have as much money, or maybe your friends that have just made some on their collection and want to kind of take part and buy some of your art. So it can be really good to mint series as well for lower amounts. So that's what I just did with the mirror boxes. I released 2 sets of 8, and I've sold all but 3 at this point for 1.5 ETH each. So yeah, I'd say, like, just have fun, experiment with it. I was kind of following Alex Ness, because he came specifically over to Maker's Place from Super Rare to drop an edition of 8, because that's a feature that Maker's Place does that Super Rare doesn't. So yeah, I would say just, try different things, hype your drops, don't hype your drops. Like, there's there's all sorts of room to experiment and fail, but then hopefully overall succeed.
Yeah, this is that it's something that I talked about with David Brodeur. I don't know if it was on the podcast or last week or whether it was just in chatting, but it's like goes back to this whole Domino's pizza, 3 pizzas for $5 each thing. When I was working for Domino's, our busiest time of the year was whenever we do 3 pizzas for $5 each. And so you do a ton of volume and you'd make a ton of money off of it, you know? And so like, it's like, if you price low, like if you do an open edition and price it low and sell a lot of them versus selling it for almost too much to where a lot of people are priced out, which is better, I don't know. As far as then there also comes from the artist, like the resale of it, because everyone, all the artists get their percentage back on every resale. And if you've got thousands minted, and everyone's kind of reselling it, is there more of a market for resales if you've got so many, or is there more of a market if there's less of them?
Really hard to say.
More. I think more, because like, it's so smart what Beeple's doing it for $1.
Yeah.
You put your stuff up for $1.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to turn over. It's going to sell for more. He's making 10% off of that. Those people are making how much money? And it keeps selling and keeps selling.
Yeah, I think
so. He knows that he has
market.
like for every piece of art that he puts out, right? He has all these little like troops. Like his art are like soldiers that go out, and then they start making him money on the resales. Like, it's crazy. It's really smart. It's very smart.
What's interesting, and like if you think about it this way, if you look at some of the stuff, some of the drops that like we've bought off of Nifty, when you look at the price of like the open editions versus like the drawing ones, you're going to have higher prices, but you're going to have much lower amounts of resales versus the lower priced ones, the open editions, you're going to have a lot more resales.
That's partially true, though. At the very beginning with those drawings, if you win one, there's a very high chance that you can flip it for a good amount.
Yes. Absolutely.
Which I did, actually. That was my first success in the NFT space before I even like dropped anything of my own. I made 15 grand off of flipping a piece that I won in a drawing. It was one of I don't know how to say his name, Resin Andres. It was called something sofa, a deconstructed sofa, or like something, whatever. It was, but it was an edition of 3, and I got the first edition, and I immediately I bought it for $5K. Won it in a drawing. I think it was like a 1 in 200 chance at the time that I would win it. Now with the drawings, there are like 200, like there are 20,000 people that enter any of those given drawings. So it's much less of a chance that you'll win. But so I got lucky, but not like crazy lottery lucky. I just got lucky enough. And then I put it up, and Pablo immediately within like a minute bought it. He's the guy that bought Beeple's initial pieces for 66,000 and then flipped that for 6.6 million. So yeah, he bought it for 20K. So I made 15K in like a minute or two. It was freaking crazy.
Because I think this would be an interesting thing. So y'all keep going. I'm looking at the secondary market for, like, say, Blake Catherine, like that one that we won, right? So the secondary market for her open edition has made $117,000, right? So let's go to her other one. Okay, let's go to the one where it was the drawing one, and for the one that we won specifically, right? Let's see, the secondary market for that is, if I can get there. Sorry, I apologize.
And what's the name of what's the name of the piece again? It's the bust. Oh, the bust.
Yeah. So see, look, if you look at the secondary market for that, it's $23,000. So the open editions, because you're selling more of them at a much lower price, the artist is actually she's making a lot more money off of the open editions than she is of the higher priced ones, Yeah.
And
I think it's 100% because, there's less of a barrier for entry for artists, who want to collect, as well as collectors,
Yeah, you're more likely to make $1 million selling 1,000 things for $1,000 than selling one thing for $1 million.
Right.
That's basically like,
right.
Of course.
Right. I don't know. It's that's an interesting. I never actually looked at like the actual stats on that, but that's good to know for your Nifty drop.
I just got an offer.
Oh yeah.
10K.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's up to
Did
10K.
you take it?
No, I'm not taking that.
Okay.
Total.
Yeah, I was thinking about putting that up for 10,000 and just to help drive up the price.
Oh, thanks, man. That is an interesting thing
I
do as fellow artists, is like sometimes like bid on each other's work just to attract attention. That's another way to advertise, is literally just with your money, and that often bumps it to the top of the page. Like on Maker's Place, when people place bids or like or comment, those kind of things like draw attention in and of themselves. So it's just yet another social media network that we have to gradually build up. So that's why I've kind of gone all in on Maker's Place for the time being, just because, you know, you find a home and you kind of stick there if you've got traction, and try to build it up from there.
Totally.
I mean, I do have like a couple other platforms that have approached me recently. I've got a call with one called Wilder World today, but it's like, to me, it's a risk, like going in on a brand new platform.
Right.
I mean,
they really have to sell you on it.
At the same time, like the artist kind of carries the value of their work. So like, for instance, Frederic Duquette, Fuckrender, did his first drop on Foundation, which you wouldn't think to go to Foundation, because that's kind of the entry level platform that's kind of flooded with artists. They've got 3,000 or 4,000 artists at this point, I think. And it's just exploded over the last 2 weeks. But he did a drop and he made $300,000 on a single piece, a single still.
Wow.
Yeah.
A couple days ago.
Days ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's that that's an example of the artist carrying the value over to another platform. So, you know, if you've got success on one platform, you're likely to have new platforms contact you and want to bring you in to bring success to their platform.
Yeah. Francisco in the chat is talking about Leirona in Unrareable. Yeah, she's been killing it. On Rareable, you know, doing these little boy characters, BOI characters, you know, she's been selling all of them. She was one of the top artists on their page several days in a row.
Someone I love that I'm like, oh, this is what I want to get into, and is really inspiring me to like keep making my characters and stuff, is Puffy Puff Puff on Rareable. She'll sell these. Let me find a link real quick.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
She has this line called Pips, and they're just these little cute little rotating characters, and she'll sell, hold on.
Oh my god.
She'll
this is
sell
amazing.
like little additions for pretty cheap. Here, I got the link right here. She'll sell them for pretty cheap, like let's see.
I found them.
0.15 ether. And she'll sell them in chunks of like 20 or 30 or 15 or whatever. And they'll sell in like literally 10 seconds.
Wow.
Like I've been trying to get one of her pieces for a long time. And like every time it goes up, I can't get it.
This is so cool.
Yeah. I just love the idea of like, you know, what I would love to do is like make your own like digital vinyl toy line, you know? And just because like I looked, and I've even talked with Sylvia, who's Puffy Puff Puff, and she's like, there's absolutely no money in making vinyl toys, like, because you have to put so much money up for it, and you have you have to hire a company, and you have to like order 100 at a time, and then at that you might get like 2% of the sales, which is like nothing. You know? So like this is such a cool space for you know, like Kid Robot getting into this space or whatever. I mean, we already saw that one artist with the cans. What's
Mike
he did physical pieces. Mike Griggs. Mike Griggs.
Do you guys have plans to do physical pieces?
He does physical pieces too, but the crazy part is like these are selling for exponentially more than the physical pieces.
Right.
You know? And it's like, I don't think I'd ever spend that much money on a physical piece, but then there's just this allure of, well, it's crypto though. It's like, but that's sexy. And like everyone thinks that's worth a lot. And like, shit, it's crazy how a switch flips in your mind where you could just throw $1,000 at a thing and you don't even think about it. Like with the Beeple thing, it's like, yeah, that was the smartest thing I've ever done. Was like sending $1,000 to Mike. You know?
That's crazy.
Smartest thing ever, you know?
Clint, you had a question you put in our topics thing here, which was about collaborations. And I thought we could talk about that a little bit because a lot of people have been collaborating on things like adding music, and there's a lot of questions that come up about how you share the profit from that? What's a good number? Are there different numbers based on kind of like what kind of work goes into it? If it's a completely from scratch track, if the audio is like completely original, or if it's something where it's just kind of like stock music. Has anybody done a collaboration yet? David, you did, right?
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question?
You did a collab for that music on that one that you put out there, right?
Yeah, so I've done a couple of collabs. So Abel Okugawa, right, is a buddy of mine that I worked with for 3 years at Filament Productions back in Charlottesville, like my first job. He's an amazing sound designer and like composer. So all of the music from my short film, he did. And he actually gave it to School of Motion for free as well, which was amazing. So, I kicked him back a bunch of cash for that. And then we also did a collab on my Fractal Palace piece with the little droid searching around. That one sold for $8K, and I kicked him 30% for that. And then, I'm doing a collab with Casey that we're splitting 50-50. So, there's no rules. It's the Wild West. But if somebody's composing music for you, definitely I'd say at least do a 30% profit share with them. They're putting in a ton of effort. Perhaps, what we're doing with the visuals takes a little bit more time, but they've also got their whole, career's worth of experience. So, time does not equal money. They're putting their expertise into the work. And then, there's also a lot of the time I'll just license music off of Premium Beat, which is $200 for a commercial license. You have to get the commercial license. So that's another option, or there's also Creative Commons licenses or packs that are royalty free for music. And then, if it's someone and you're pulling from their library and it's maybe they didn't compose something specifically for that piece of yours, it's still nice to kick them 10%. We're all, if you're really successful, you're making a lot of money. There's no reason not to to be stingy about it is how I feel.
Is my sound
I'll be
better
right back, guys.
now?
You keep talking.
Do I sound better now? People saying my sound is low. Let me know. Well, we'll keep going in the meantime.
And as far as visual collabs, I've got one coming up with Bella Kotak, who's an amazing photographer, one of Chelsea and my friends. And I brought a couple of her photographs to life through compositing and some VFX stuff, and then also did a couple of full CG pieces that were kind of creative directed by her as well. So we're going to be there's 4 of those total. We'll be dropping those on Maker's Place at some point. She just got into Maker's Place and is having success already. So she'll be dropping the 2 pieces that are based on her photos on Maker's Place, and I'll be dropping the 2 full CG pieces, and we'll be doing a 50% profit share there as well.
And is this all just word of mouth? Is this all...
What do you mean?
Sorry, not word of mouth, but what's the term I'm looking for?
An
audible,
as
Agreement,
far as a contract goes, or what?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just written through email. I haven't been signing any contracts. I've just, we're just trusting each other to be honest. But I think moving forward, it'd probably be smart to start doing contracts. Yeah.
I was talking with Don. And man, that guy has so much good advice. And he was like, yeah, man, just some simple write up on just what each party expects. Mm-hmm. And that's enough. That's all you really need.
I mean, there's so much so much areas we could get into trouble with this, collaborating and hurt feelings, if anything is slightly different than the expectations. So it is really important to set those, up front, you're saying.
Okay, hopefully my audio is better now. I think I boosted it a little bit. So, what's next on the list? Dealing with FOMO. I don't know if
that's a big one.
Yeah,
that's huge. That was from the beginning. I equate it to a large bus that's driving away and it's picking up speed and everyone's trying to rush and catch onto this bus and hang onto it. And hopefully you can run fast enough. Hopefully the bus is not driving fast enough and it doesn't take off. That's the way I felt.
It does feel like everyone is rushing right now. It feels like a gold rush. And Beeple's perspective is he's first fucking inning, bro.
Right.
So he thinks that we probably should all slow down a bit. I think a lot of it has to do with, there's a bunch of reasons. You see everyone else posting and dropping constantly. You want to do it too. But at the same time, you want your work to be scarce. You don't want to have this oversaturation that drives the value and the price of your work down. And also there's like, I feel like there's some like maybe competitiveness or just wanting to advertise like that you're at a certain price. Like there's this site cryptoart.io that has a global almost leaderboard of the top crypto artists, and you can look yourself up. So it's like you see people rising up in the ranks and you're going down, you're like, shit, I have to drop some more stuff to like, because that's almost an advertising thing in and of itself if you're high up on that list, you know. So there's just a lot of like psychology going on right now, and people that are like trying to advertise their prices, like it's good to, like I've heard from Alex Ness, for instance, that it's like good to advertise exactly the amount of ETH you've made on a sale, because that advertises not only your floor price, but it's also like the collectors that are investing in you want to see that price going up, or want to see you at least, you know, maintaining that price, and that they've made a good investment as well. So there's all those kind of like psychology things involved as well. But then that makes other people like irritated that they're constantly seeing these numbers, and everyone's got even worse FOMO. So it definitely is kind of creating a fracture in the community that is maybe could become dangerous, you know, and that sucks. So we have to do a lot of work to try and like, I don't know, bring more people in, turn around and buy, you know, new artist work. I'm not saying like, you know, when I say I've reinvested in artist work, I'm not saying I'm, you know, reinvesting fully in Nifty. Like the people on Nifty are going to do just fine. You know, I'm saying like go to the smaller platforms like Foundation and go find artist friends of yours that you know are badass and that are going to blow up someday, and invest in their art and like kick off their NFT careers. You know, that's like making a much, much bigger impact than being a drop in the bucket in Nifty, where all the collectors are just buying whatever the hell's there. They don't know what it is. They don't know if it's good or bad. It's just, it's on Nifty, so it's hyped, you know, and and a lot of people are just on Nifty to be able to flip things quickly. Like think of it more as a long-term investment that someday I know Mark Fancher's work is going to blow the fuck up, or, you know, Chris Pierre, or, you know, or Martin, or Thanos, or Clint, or I mean, Clint, you're already blowing up, but you know what I mean? Like, and it's much, and then you're also getting a one-of-one piece that could hold a lot more value in the future. Obviously there's a risk. We don't know how much these things are going to resell for in the future. Not all of our artist friends are gonna blow up, like just because they have a lot of traction in the motion design industry, or, you know, the 3D space, doesn't necessarily mean that they will in this new NFT space. Things are getting shuffled around, everything's getting turned on its head. So it's really hard to predict that, but at the very least we can look at work and say, you know, we as 3D artists know what good quality is. We know what kind of craft goes into things, and some people really are making a ton of money based on their excellent craft, like Cornelius Domrich, or, you know, the people in this chat, you know.
How do you concentrate on a day-to-day when all this is going around?
Good. Yeah, right. Well, I mean, for me, I've been able to, because I've literally killed all client work. So I've just completely made full space in my life for this, and gone in, drank the Kool-Aid, gone in full force. But yeah, I mean, you guys can speak to that more. Like you're all doing full-time jobs while all this madness is going on, which to me that really sucks. And
here's something that I mentioned to y'all yesterday on our chat, was that I'm actually a little excited to do client work now, you know, because it's like, well, for me, at least for this thing, it was all about just paying off debt, right? I'm out of debt.
Yeah.
Right now, I just do my job, you know, and my job, I like my job, you know, and it's like, now I don't have the stress of having to necessarily get it done and do so much, because I got to get that paycheck, got to do whatever. It's like, I get to chill and enjoy client work. As weird as that is.
No, I know what you mean. It's like when I sit down and I have to rotoscope stuff,
right?
And I know that this is my job for the next hour or two. I love rotoscoping. It's very peaceful. I mean, it's like riding a motorcycle. That's why it's like it's zen when you ride a motorcycle, because all you can focus on is riding the motorcycle, or else you'll die. So like that's why it's peaceful. Meditation is literally focusing on one thing. And like for me, it could be rotoscoping, or it could be client work, or it could be whatever, you know. So like there's definitely peace in that. For sure.
Rotoscoping is my favorite. I love like sandwiching in between the really hard mental task jobs, just doing some roto and listening to an audiobook or a podcast, because it's like the one job where you can totally like zone the hell out and not have to think hard.
You don't
about
have
what
to be
doing.
Creative at all. There's no creativity.
I love those like just wrote like basic tasks. Sometimes they just they're a good palate cleanser between jobs. Yeah,
my wife calls it turning her brain off. Like she loves it whenever I drive because she can just turn her brain off.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Sometimes I turn my brain off when I drive. Is that bad? I just like,
and then
oh,
you end
we're
up
here.
like where
I
you're
don't know
supposed to
how
go.
we
You're
got
like,
here.
How did I get here? I think
I shouldn't have drank all those beers before I drove. That's bad. We should not do that.
Right?
Yeah. PSA. That's not good.
Okay. Hopefully, I sound better now. I didn't change a thing. All my things are up. Hopefully, I just had to boost it. It's so
you
random.
sound fine on my end. I don't know.
Well,
what
you sound listening through.
I'm listening through Skype.
But I have a whole separate amp which was already up, so now I'm like boosting this gain. I don't understand. That's never done that before.
Max gains, bro.
Max gains, bro. Yeah. So one of the other questions that I put into this topic deal is, how is this going to evolve? And I'm not talking just like, a year from now, 2 years from now. I'm talking about a decade from now. Where are NFTs and what are we doing with NFTs?
If I can start, this is the way I see it, right? So, people would normally have their websites and stuff like that and, their Instagrams or whatever. But I think eventually it's going to get to the point where it's like, okay, I've dropped some of my work on, so-and-so site. You can pick it up whenever you want. You're still promoting yourself and stuff. But I feel like that the NFT, well, everyone right now, a lot of people are seeing it as a big cash grab. But what I think it is, it's a chance for artists to get their work out there and, for people to buy it. And I think eventually it's just gonna become commonplace for, people who post their work to also be posting NFTs like either on their site or through some other secondary site or whatever. And like, it becomes almost a piece of your portfolio, It's like, here's a piece that I minted, you can buy it. It's an open edition at all times, for people to just buy and collect.
Well,
and stuff
I don't think it's smart to ever do an open edition that is open for all the time, because that consistently will depreciate the value of the artwork.
True.
Right. I agree with you. I
see what you're saying, though, Matt.
Looking at it from a collector's point of view,
right?
Absolutely. But there are pieces of art from friends and stuff that I would like to own. Whether it's minted 1,000 times or whatever, or whether it's just minted once. There
those
are
big head collectible thingies. Like I think you got
right,
some
the
back
pops,
there.
Andy Needham said that Andy Needham said that Raid Zero, aka or Phil Roberts, he's like the perfect model for the collectibles for like a low price but like very high volume that he's dropping on Rareable, dropping 100 of them for like 1 ETH each or 0.75 ETH each, but then making a ton of money on that volume. So it's definitely possible to go either direction with that.
Also, it helps to play with the Zeitgeist too, though.
Certainly.
Would my Bitcoin cat go for as much if it was a Lincoln cat with a penny? Probably not.
Maybe.
Well, that's kind of what Beeple's doing. It's just like social commentary and whatnot. I think it's very smart to at least be aware of it and decide to play into it if that's, the smartest move.
Yeah.
Certainly. But I think, why not? If you create awesome art and you're super proud of it, why not mint it? Like, why not?
Right.
It's like a no-brainer at this point. And then
because there's $100 gas fee that you don't want to pay every time. That's
here's something that's interesting that so Rareable, for example, right? I can mint a piece and it costs me $50, whatever, right? And then I can list it and it costs me $50, right? Okay, so now it's minted, listed. I spent $100. If someone wants to come and buy it, it's going to cost them $50. So that's $150 right there, right? But if I want to send it to someone, if I want to give it away, it only costs me $10, and it doesn't cost them anything. It's like it's weird that there's such a difference in gas price. So a lot of my stuff I just been giving away. I just been spending $10 here and there to give everyone whatever they want, just so they can collect my work if they want it, or they can just burn it if they want. I don't care.
Burn
but it's like
work.
It's like because like, for example, we're all friends and stuff like that. I would love for y'all to just collect my work like a trading card or something. I don't know. Clint, I'll send you some of my work.
I think that like I'm really interested to see where this goes in the AR space.
Yeah. Can you imagine
collectible wearables that are like $1 million or something?
Right.
Oh, dude.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
T-shirts with screens on them.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
I think what's the whole what is that game? Decentraland or whatever? What is that?
Yeah.
That's going to be insane because people are going to be able to tap into the metaverse, just like Snow Crash, my favorite book ever. And you're going to go into this. You're going to go into this metaverse, and you're going to have all your skins and your art galleries, and like people are already doing it where they do like the virtual art gallery stuff. Like that's going to be, I think that it's going to go there, certainly. And like you can rent out space in a virtual place, and like this is like the main city, So like this real estate is more than that real estate way out in the desert. It's, I don't know. That's like way out, but maybe.
Yeah.
And people are already buying real estate in like the virtual space. Don was telling me all this stuff.
Yeah.
The metaverse.
I don't get it, but whatever.
Second
I feel like with a lot of
you
this
said
stuff,
about
it's just
NFTs,
like I
bro.
don't get it, but people value it, and sure.
So much of this has been accelerated by the pandemic because we're constantly on our computers at home. Like honestly,
this is what it's done to our brains. We're buying things that don't exist.
We're like fully in the digital world, like, or at least half in, half out, and it's become much more important lately and moved us all towards this much more quickly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Second Life was way ahead of its time.
Right?
Yeah.
Not Half-Life.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think is going to be really interesting is, I've been reading a lot about how the Ethereum 2.0 and how basically anyone who mines Ethereum right now is not going to, they're all not going to make any money anymore. And there's pushback against that. And what happens when we go to 2.0 and what's the value of Ethereum? And I think that's another weird part about all of this outside of Nifty is that Beeple made $69 million. He doesn't have to transition it. The weirdest thing once you make money, or Ethereum, is what do I transfer it to dollars and then get it out, or what do I do? Once you
could leave just $1 million in ETH, and if it goes 10x, which it probably will,
go to nothing, and it's so volatile.
At that point, that's not a huge gamble for him. And if it goes 10x, then it's $10 million more dollars. If it goes 100x, then it's $100 million.
Well, when he did his first drop, Ethereum, because when I sold my first piece, it was in November, and it was he did his first drop in October, I think it was.
Yeah,
Ethereum at that time was $400. It's now near 1,800.
Yeah.
So he was just "Fuck! I should have kept it." And he took it out immediately.
Yeah.
So
but Beeple has a very similar mindset like I do, where it's that's a tangible amount that you know
you
exactly
can get it
where
now
it can
and know you're
go.
getting that now, or
versus
something that might not happen at all.
Right.
I'll say it's like you guys are talking black and white. Why not split it up where you have some that you pull out, some that you leave in, some that you put into a savings account, some that you put into an index fund.
That's actually,
I was talking to Mankind last night on the Discord, and one of the things he mentioned was just take out what your initial investment was, and then you haven't lost anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the way they tell you to do it with stocks, right?
Yeah.
Take out your initial investment, take all the profits, and just leave them in there. Right. Actually, it's funny, Clint, what you were talking about, splitting it up. That's kind of what I'm doing in a way. So I'm going to take my money. I'm going to pay off my car, my credit cards, both cars, whatever. But as far as the student loans and the and my taxes that I have to pay, those are actually going to go into investments for the next year or two, because one, I don't know exactly how much taxes. I can estimate it at 25%, which I think is a little high, but
better to go high.
As far as, right, exactly. Yeah. But the student loans, I also don't know if Biden or someone is going to pass something to where even if they get rid of $10,000 in student loans, it's I don't want to spend $30,000 right now just to lose that. I'll put it into an investment account in stocks and whatever, let it gain 8% interest over the next year, that's, you know, $26,000 or something, or $20,000. So why not?
Yeah, and you're
If
talking
I'm-
like
Absolutely.
advisor, like you need an advisor at this point.
Mhm.
Don't just like do it yourself.
Yeah.
Get somebody who can really tell you how to handle it.
Yeah, especially
Or
if you're
retirement.
making people kind of money, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
His
But, I mean,
accountant's
here's the
gonna
thing.
be real.
Here's what I think is great, you know, and I was talking to a couple of people in the Discord the other day, and they're like, I'm just doing NFTs now. You know, you start off, and it's the same with any sort of like Instagram or Twitter or anything. You're gonna eventually get followers, and then you'll eventually be able to do it. It's the same with our podcast. Our podcast had 20 listeners the very first episode. We were super excited about it. Now it's got quite a bit more than that, right?
Mhm.
And it's like, but the thing, and the same with people, consistency, doing the work every single day, you know, doing
It's
the work
like
every single
YouTube.
week, or releasing work steadily. You know, you're getting your name out there. People are knowing who you are, and eventually you'll get some collectors who are like, I love this person's stuff. I'm going to buy everything they want. You know,
It's a slow burn for most people.
is
When I made my first tutorial in 2012, I didn't get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube until a couple years ago. You know, like I did it because I enjoyed it and I didn't give a shit. And I think that's the mindset you have to get into this and that's the hardest thing though, right? Is like you have to give a shit, because if you're paying $100 to even put it up, like that hurts you financially. So I think once that is removed, hopefully soon, like then you just can easily adopt the mindset of like, I'm putting this up on Instagram. If it gets likes, cool. If not, I don't give a shit. I enjoy making what I make. Some people might like it, some people don't, but I enjoy doing it. Like Matt, you enjoy doing your client work. That's what you went to school for. That's what you do. Like if you're doing things because of just to chase money, you're gonna lose every time.
100%. It's short term. Consistency is the main
Absolutely.
thing.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know. You said it, EJ. That's it.
What's funny, EJ? So the thing that you were talking about, where it's $100 to mint, you know, but you know you could sell it for $5,000 or something like that. You know, it's such a funny juxtaposition, because like yesterday, for example, I bought a model for a piece that I'm working on that I want to mint, you know, and it was a really high res model, you know, it looked really good, but it was $170. And it's like, I've never spent that kind of money. And so what I did, and it's so stupid because it's earlier in the day, right? I spent $170 on it, and I didn't want it to come out of like our personal money. I didn't want to tell my wife, oh, I spent $170 on a model. So the only extra money that I've got is money that I've made from mining, you know, on my computers. So I took $170 from my Ethereum, I transferred it to my bank account, and then later on in the day, that's like a moot point, right? Because I sold the Beeple work, and it's like, oh, $170 is nothing right now, but yeah, you're totally right. You know, mint the ones that you want to mint and stuff like that, because it's worth that money to you, you know?
Yeah.
It also comes back to the art too. Like at the end of the day, this is what I was trying to get at. The consistency thing produces art. And like, you're not going to mint anything unless you have art to mint. Like maybe you can mint a tweet, but I'm not going to mint a tweet. And like, I want the art to be so sick and so cool. And that's what I'm going to put up. I'll put my best work. So like, if you get hung up on, oh, I got to mint all this stuff. Like, no, you have to create cool stuff, and you have to be like consistently amped about creating cool stuff. And like, it's going to be hard. There'll be times where you don't want to create. And like, maybe that's the time to take a vacation, take a break.
right.
But like, you have to invest in yourself by doing the consistent effort to get the good stuff. And then when you got the good stuff, people will know because it's good.
Yep.
And then you'll go from there. It all comes back to just the good stuff.
Yeah,
the art.
if you're doing dailies, like let's say Rev, for example, we keep saying Rev needs to just get on this game, right? But
he's on Foundation finally.
Yeah. Now he's doing stuff every single day.
I invite.
You got him? Nice.
Yeah, I got him the invite.
Good job.
And so I get like, okay, he's doing it for the art, right? Number one. But probably he's not going to mint every one of those on Foundation every day, right? He's going to go in and he's going to say, like, there'll be one day where he spent like a whole bunch of extra time. He's really feeling it, be like, okay, this is the one. Anyone that's doing dailies, I feel like that's probably the mentality, is like, I'm doing this for the art. And then, I mean, don't you feel that way? Don't you feel like even if you're not doing dailies, maybe you've done like a couple renders in the last couple months, right? You've done 2, 3, 4. Some of them you don't feel good about. Some of them are okay. And there's 1 or 2 that you're like, I love how this turned out. I really feel like the lighting was good. The texturing is good. I felt a vibe. I felt meaning behind this. That's when you know, like, this is one to mint because it means something to you. It's just not this,
definitely,
rareable, I'm gonna get on there because anybody can post anything at any time and I'm gonna put 50,000 renders up. There's no value in that, I don't think, to anybody.
Yeah, it's like, what if your favorite band, well, that maybe this would be sweet, but if like your favorite band put out every single song that they did, every scratch track, every little demo, everything, it'd be like, dude, this is too much. Like, obviously we know the hits, we know the greatest albums, not everything. Maybe right. When they're top, it's like, here's the earlier stuff I didn't release. People go crazy about that. But yeah, you gotta, what's the word I'm looking for?
Gotta curate your own content.
Curate, yeah.
For sure.
Also, on the whole music thing, because like what you guys all make is kind of like what I make, my hamburger boy, I don't consider him like fine art with deep meaning, but I'm glad that, in this space, there's also room for that. Like if you're thinking I'm not Bruce Springsteen, like writing very deep meaning songs. I'm like, I'm making the dance hits that just make you shake your ass. And those can do just as well,
It doesn't have to be like deep meaning either. It could be something of comedic value.
Mine was the pipe. Exactly. NFT. It's funny.
Or it could be
smoking a pipe.
Really fun, like EJ stuff, and everybody knows that's EJ's style, and that's why they like it, though. I think it's not. I don't know if Hamburger Guy really had the deep meaning. Yeah, Burger Boy, but it's your style and it's your thing, and you're getting some of your characters that you like out there. I mean, wouldn't you say you like that character?
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing is if it makes you smile or laugh or something, like that's cool for me.
And that's meaning.
But it's just I love, like it's when you animate something for the first time, you have to make it dance, just in your viewport, like just bounce around. Like
that's funny.
Right.
I love that.
Isn't that
moment.
the same burger that you used in one of your talks at one point? I think
I made a talk.
Yeah, you made him talk to you in the presentation. You're like,
hey,
with the
mouth.
Yeah.
You did. This
presentation's
like the best one I've ever seen. I'm like, thanks, Burger Boy.
Yeah, thanks, Burger Boy. Yeah, see that's fun though,
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other topics? We're on 2 hours now, so I imagine we have some NFTs to make or some clients.
There's right. Just for those who haven't sold anything, there's so much advice we can give. It's like
money isn't
just
everything.
Be patient. Just be patient. Yeah, be patient because it'll come.
This is around to stay. It's not gonna just evaporate.
Right. It's gonna cool down quite a bit. Like I've noticed it just in the past 2 weeks, the amount of drops we had the first drop episode versus the amount of drops that we've had drop episode 3, it's like it has gone down significantly. So everyone's kind of cooling out about it. We understand what it's about, and so just do the work, get your work out there.
Mark my words, there's going to be a point
let this inspire you.
There's going to be a point where you go through the Taco Bell drive-thru and order the new special burrito that's only out for that month. And at that point, there's going to be a limited edition NFT that comes with it. And if you don't think that's going to happen,
absolutely.
Like in the long term, like it's going to be a promo. Or think of it even with like movies, right? There's this movie coming out. If you buy the movie on release, you're going to get the limited edition NFT.
Yeah, you get an NFT
in your collection, and it's like a
or just this tech is going to be integrated into the major platforms like Instagram, where you can see any piece of art and then see who owns it, or that kind of thing.
See who previously owned it, and it's I have a feeling it's going to be a way of combating piracy and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like that is an answer to piracy, and it will be something kind of like PayPal or Stripe or anything else eventually. That's where it's going. It's going to be normal, and so Travis, non-fungible taco.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No fungus in my taco.
Cool.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. But if everybody would like to, plug their stuff and things, David, if
I'm just David Ariev on all the things: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and then my site is arievvisuals.com.
And David's course is on sale right now.
It is.
Registration's open for Lights, Camera, Render, and Cinema 4D Basecamp, and Cinema 4D Ascent, and Lights, Camera, Lasagna, Lights, Camera, Penne Pasta.
Get it while it's hot.
And Lights, Camera, Linguini.
Hey.
EJ, you go.
Oh, okay. Plug yourself.
Oh, and me. Hi.
Hi.
EJ I Design. I do Cinema 4D tutorials.
I wear hats and pants.
I wear hats and sometimes pants. I make burgers. I got so it's a Nami Nom series. And once this one sells, I got a taco, a hot dog, a pizza boy. So we're gonna do a whole lot of donut.
Nice.
And then I'm just Punisher on YouTube without the underscores, but on Instagram and Twitter I got the underscores.
Nice.
And I'm doing Cinema 4D live streams every single Saturday, and got some very, very exciting stuff that I'm gearing up for and working on this month. So
dude, you
awesome. It's gonna be crazy.
A freaking trooper when it comes to long streams. Like compared to us,
it's so hard.
How many hours? What's the longest stream you've done?
Like 5.5 hours.
Damn.
There's been a few Ariev shows that have been close to that.
I think the longest we've done is like 3 hours and 10 minutes.
I think it was 4 hours. Actually,
really?
no, that's not true. Actually, the longest ones we've done were were last year about this time at the coronavirus
we did
relief.
The marathon stuff.
It was the marathon.
The marathon.
Yeah.
We did a clubhouse. Our first clubhouse went for 5 hours. Yeah. That was pretty fun.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I stayed for every minute of it too. And the next one is coming up Friday. Do you have a time or schedule for that yet?
Let me ask Chelsea. Chelsea, what time's our clubhouse on Friday?
Lights, camera, lasagna.
We don't know yet. It's going to be Friday afternoon, though. Last time we did it at 1 o'clock MST, so we might.
If Rhett's talking.
Yeah, Rhett's going to be talking on, or we're doing environment stuff. So, and then after, so this week we're doing environmental aspects.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon. Just keep a watch out for it. I'll post it on Twitter and all the things. Cool. But and then the next week we're going to do like security. That's a big. Crypto security is a huge topic.
Is Billy coming on?
Billy doesn't have an iDevice, but I offered to get him like a burner phone, so we'll see.
Okay.
But Rhett's another
he's
person
serious.
to talk. No, well, I mean, he just doesn't happen to have any Apple devices. You have to have an iPhone to talk on Clubhouse.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, it's weird. And after that, we're going to do like a collector mindset kind of talk. And Brandon Kang actually said he would be down to get on and talk about like how the collector thinks, what they're looking for in artist work. Like, so that one I think is going to be super valuable.
Oh, sick.
And there's just going to be more and more of that interaction and relationships forming between collectors and artists as we go forward, which is like definitely a crazy new thing. It's like the best kind of direct to client work where, your success benefits them and vice versa if they intend on flipping the piece. Like there are lots of collectors too that are true just patrons of the art, like 888, who just wants to create a big museum and pass down all of his collection to his family and doesn't ever want to sell any of it and just really believes in artists and discovering them. And he's been doing this for like 3 weeks and getting like 3 hours of sleep a night, just like trolling all over the internet, like finding all of his favorite stuff and changing lives left and right. So it just depends on the collector. Some people want to flip stuff, and some people just want to collect the art and, keep it forever to hand down to their kids. There's just so much cool stuff going on right now.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. You can rate us on iTunes and all the things. Leave a review. Check out our podcast, yo. It's every week, Mondays, noon. And drop us a line and ask us any questions that you might have about motion graphics in general. And, if you want to join our Slack and hang out with some cool people, you can do that too. Or just hit us up if you want to play Halo. That could be fun as well.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
feel
or
like we
game
need to do
night
that.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
Playing Smash.
I need to join y'all for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Game night.
All the Switch
Quinn's gonna
games.
destroy everyone at Smash. It'll be great.
Jackbox.
Except that one guy. If we get Mike on, that he'll give Clint a run for his money for sure.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
We have so many good Smash players. It's
true.
crazy. Oh, and Rocket League.
Rocket League.
I love Rocket
But we
League.
soon found
We
out that
still
we had
haven't
like,
done Fall Guys. We got to do Fall Guys.
Yeah, did you hear Fall Guys is got bought
got
by
bought.
Epic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming to
sus.
Switch.
Yeah.
hopefully soon.
No, that's a different.
Oh,
That's Among Us.
different
Oh,
one.
Among Us. That's right.
Among Us.
I don't know what the kids are playing these
They're
days.
basically the same
Yeah.
thing.
My daughter's
Yeah.
onto something new every week, I swear. Like, I can't even
Yeah.
keep up. I'm old.
I still haven't
They
played
are.
Among Us.
Yeah.
A fool.
It's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to get out
All
of
right,
here.
guys.
Until next
Great
time,
hanging with you guys.
let's just go down the line from left to
All
right.
right.
Here. I'm Dave.
David.
I'm Clinton.
I'm EJ.
And I'm Matt.
Have a good one.
Later, yo.
Yo.
Is this the fucking mic? This is exactly what I should be doing.
Fuck, bro. Fucking bro.
Did I tell you I'm gonna get a Beeple tattoo?
That's me.
Are you seriously?
I'm gonna get a Beeple tattoo.
Oh yeah. Is it
I
just
wasn't
gonna be his face with a?
It's gonna be the face, his like Twitter icon.